question. How can you put the most fun in your afternoons? Answer. Tune in the all-new Let's Make a Deal every weekday at 4. It's the show for people who know a good deal when they see one.
Goldie Hawn in Protocol. Goldie is golden. In her best role since Private Benjamin, says Pat Collins of CBS TV. She calls it funny and winning. You'll have a great time.
You said it was a barbecue. Oops, hi. No, actually, I haven't been anywhere.
Goldie's a diplomat.
Well, I was in Canada once, but that doesn't count because it's like attached.
Protocol, rated PG. Now playing at a theater near you.
Here it comes, the new Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes.
I won $100,000.
We won $125,000.
I won $250,000.
There's only one Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes with a $2 million super prize and thousands of winners.
Just a big come on.
That's what I used to think.
Watch for the sign of Publishers Clearinghouse. It could mean $2 million to you.
There's no place like our house.
Evenings from 5 to 11, AT&T saves me 40% on long-distance calls. What could be better?
Sold for $100. Weekends, I get 60% off with AT&T.
What could be better?
You don't have to give up any service to save. That's what's better. Only AT&T gives you operator service, calls from anywhere to anywhere, and up to 60% off.
Now, that's what I like to hear.
That's AT&T. The more you hear, the better we sound.
Reach out and touch someone.
Burger King presents Double Trouble. I knew it the first time I laid eyes on one. This was no ordinary quarter-pound burger. Word was it was called a double. You could get it straight, with cheese, even crispy bacon, but that was just the half of it. It also had this rep for flame-broiled taste. Then, when I took a bite, that was the clincher. I knew a double from Burger King only spelled one thing for those fried quarter-pound burgers. Double Trouble.
I'm too hungry for Burger King now.
Up in the Rockies, I found a place where people really take pride in their craft.
My granddad made these.
They're beauties.
We'll see how they're made. Got some hot coffee on.
That's good coffee. After Maxwell House. Decaffeinated.
If a decaffeinated coffee tastes this good, good to the last drop, it couldn't be anything but Maxwell House. Looks like you got a customer.
Oh, that's my granddad. He's just checking up.
It couldn't be anything but Maxwell House.
Next on Family Ties, a peaceful trip to the woods brings out the beast in everybody. And on Cheers, can a secret agent hot for Carla get her to go undercover?
He said he thinks I'm sexy. They're trained to lie.
Then on Night Court, why is Harry having a strange effect on women? Next. Saturday on Different Strokes, Arnold and Sam are trapped in a haunted house.
Please don't let the Vito go.
Then on the 1 hour Gimme a Break, Nell finds love in New Orleans and Joey finds his long-lost dad.
This is not your normal day.
And Spencer's making big plans for New Year's Eve.
That scares me.
But his blind date could be the big problem.
That scares me, too.
There it is.
New Year's is the time most of us make resolutions to change for better. Hi, I'm Gary Coleman. Now's the time to sign an organ donor card, and you can give one of the thousands of Americans waiting for an organ transplant the gift of life. Make that your New Year's resolution right now. Contact your National Kidney Foundation affiliate.
It's Chevrolet's New Year Kickoff. Chevy dealers are kicking off the new year with their biggest and longest celebration ever. They're out to sell 175,000 cars and trucks by January 21st. Take delivery from a wide selection of Chevrolet's most popular cars and trucks by January 21st and make no monthly payments till spring with GMAC financing. And what's more, save up to $740 on specially equipped full-size pickups, up to $330 on celebrity sedans and wagons. Big savings, deferred payments at your Chevy dealers.
Open up! Let us out! It's dark in here! Thanks, little fella! Hey, you're gonna be a happy cat! Yeah, look what your mommy got ya! Not there, over here! Ta-da! Happy cat! That should put a smile on your face! Oh, here she comes! Meet you at the ball!
Happy Cat brand cat food makes cats happy because all day long it stays moist and meaty tasting in the bowl.
Look at how happy he is! Yeah, especially on the inside!
Make your cat a happy cat.
Wednesday, join Bruce Jenner, Morgan Brittany, John Hillerman, Miss America, and more in the wildest contest of all, the College Cheerleader Championship. Wednesday.
I'm not ready to go yet, okay? I'm not ready. You gotta wait. I got shit to do. I'm in the middle of something, all right? Just hold on.
Watch your mouth or don't come in here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, people, come on, we're adults here. You know what? What is the point?
Yeah, we're adults here. I got a fucking Burger King fucking thing on my head. We're all fucking adults here, guys. People in my chat, 2 words. What are they? 2 words. Let me see the chat flood. Let me see the chat flood. 2 words. Okay, next caller. Please. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, which translate in American to dick and balls.
I got flip-flops. These are my flip-flops. Yeah, I really like my flip-flops because I can put them on. Because look, watch me put them on. I can put them on all by myself. Watch me put them on. Look, are you watching? Look, these are my flip-flops.
Thanksgiving Day. I remember it clearly. It was Thanksgiving Day. I was inserting myself in somebody else's fucking business as a cash grab, and you know. This channel is harsh reality. Karen Yak se jodió la sucia vida. Amen.
This is Jonathan Lee Riches. I have cheeseburgers. I'm gonna put cheese on them. I'm gonna make sure that I have my hamburgers because I'm a big boy now and I can make the hamburgers. My mom lets me use the stove now.
And I'm just like, wow, I like receipts, and they brought receipts. Like they had evidence to back up everything they said. And I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be another side to this, right? Like this can't. No, this is too fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not going to just jump to the conclusion that there's a conspiracy amongst cops to cover up a murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, cops and just like soccer moms and shit. Like that's what made it even crazier. Like,
yeah, get it, Betty. Yeah,
did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of sad. She was more of the prissy girl, like
that is the best shit fucking
shopping for dresses with mommy. I was the tomboy that liked playing with.
Shout out to Cherry for just being easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had. That someone could have that tenacity with loyalty. And I'm really blessed to have someone like Cherry be part of this channel and in my life. So it means a lot. And yes, I named him after Mr. T and Rocky. Say, woman. Say, woman. Say, woman. Since your old man ain't got no heart, why don't you come down to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this little dude. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I love you guys very, 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 very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Oh, I love you too. Give me a kiss. Oh, I love you. Bye, guys. Oh my goodness. Woo! People. Welcome. Dude, I don't know what's going on with YouTube right now. YouTube is acting silly right now. Like, I want to go ahead and thank all 16 of you watching. Yeah, I there's more than you here. And I mean, I see that there's 280 watching on Twitter. Thank you guys for that. But yeah, YouTube is acting wonky, man. I don't know what's going on with that, but that's okay. I can see you guys. You guys can see me. It's okay. Numbers don't matter here. We're okay. So let's not sweat it too much. Let's not let it distract us too much. Now, here's the thing. Now, Turtleboy is scheduled to go on NewsNation at 10 o'clock. I checked the NewsNation website, see if I could just stream it live. Turns out you get a preview, but you have to like connect to like a cable provider, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how to do all that. And I'm not really worried about it. So, but you can actually stream the audio. So I'm going to stream the audio. It looks like. So let me make sure that that's, yeah. Yeah, there's clearly. Okay, so yeah. So we can listen to the audio, but we can't watch it. But that's okay. Which means that you probably can't stream the video. So oh man, we just hit 29 people. This is amazing. 29 29 people. This is great. No, and it's fantastic. Today's been a good day for the channel, and I want to just be I want to express my gratitude to everyone. And Stephanie just gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so much. So congrats to all the people that YouTube is not showing me who got gifted memberships. But thank you, Stephanie, for gifting 10 memberships. That's extremely generous. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, we're gonna you guys hung out with me for over 5 hours earlier today. We're gonna hang out for probably even longer tomorrow, depending on how court goes tomorrow. But we're doing this. We're doing this, guys. I want this to be your go-to channel. Everything John O'Keefe can read. Okay, that's what I want. I want this to be your go-to channel. I want to earn that. And so everything that is going to be made available to go over and talk about, I want you guys to be I want you guys to be able to depend on me for that. So now again, we gotta wait like 4 minutes. I'm just gonna keep checking the audio, see where we're at. So there's commercials right now. Again, I'm really sorry about the very strange behavior from YouTube right now. It tends to happen from time to time. Weird things. This is new. I didn't know that could happen. Thank you for the super sticker, Farty Marty. Leo Bunker was gifted a membership. Okay, the gifted memberships are showing up. Cat Sai Healer was gifted a membership. Okay. I'm just reading the ones that they're showing me. Okay, still commercials. All the channels are having issues. Okay. You guys broke YouTube, not me. I'm not taking the rap for that shit. Let me
Once called the American Pope, Billy Graham carried his message of hope and faith to over 2.
Can you guys hear that okay? When I unmute it, can you hear it fine? Is the audio okay?
And you can visit us at Jefferson Media Group.
Is the audio okay on your end, guys? Erica Madden, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What are you doing now?
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
Erica Madden, thank you. Missing so much in Massachusetts, but enjoying so much touring colleges with my daughter, catching everything when I can. I'll be back with you all soon. Free care and read. Erica Madden, good luck finding a college for your daughter. It's a big decision. I'm really glad that you get to spend that time doing that with her. I bet that's super, super fun. So my best wishes to you both.
At risk for the same complications and negative effects as those who took the shots. FYI, this whole vaccine shedding thing is considered a myth by almost all serious medical practitioners. But seemingly using Benjamin Button science and research, Patel is attaching his good name to this company, which also sells no...
I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Leah Baker, thank you so much. What happened with Anjanette Levy interview with Turtleboy and Grant? I don't know. I have no idea. Good question. See where we're at here.
Maybe we know the answer.
It's 10 o'clock, so
send us your choices.
Thank you so much, Leah
What
Baker.
Were they thinking segment? We're looking for all of you to send us videos, send us interesting stories, because this is going to be a regular segment on this show. That's all the time we got. Thanks for watching. Banfield starts now.
Banfield. Oh, Ashley and me. We got history. Not really. We don't really have history, me and Ashley Banfield. I just have history following Ashley Banfield on these cases. And
going to hear, we finally did hear.
Oh,
maybe
thank
it's
you,
not a
little Irish
surprise,
girl.
but it's very sad nonetheless. The positive IDs came in on those two Oklahoma
little Irish
moms, the
girl.
ones who were murdered on the road on the way to pick up Veronica's kids. Jillian was there just to be a supervisor. Wrong place, wrong time, all of the above. 4 people arrested. And we're starting to get some weird news, like weird. Where's the 5th? Where's the 5th person that one of the witnesses in all the affidavits says was there, partic in the planning, was there for the diversion, was there for the murders? Where's the 5th person not pictured? Where's person number 5?
Love you
And is
too,
person number
Marlo.
5, Paul Grice, going to be arrested in all of this? And how is he not? Given all of the information about these 4 and the allegations against them, the allegations were exactly the same against him. No arrest. No one talking. Also, we have an exclusive tonight with Grandma Tiffany. That was one of those women there in the arrest quadrant, shall we say, the 4 people arrested for double murder of Veronica and Jillian. Grandma Tiffany's boyfriend,
really?
Chad Cullum, also arrested
On
Worked for a
NewsNation?
very long time.
Sean on
as a
the
business
Gulf will be?
partner. He was very powerful in that whole area. And we've got an exclusive interview with him. So we're going to play that for you. You're going to learn something. By the way, he was there for the raid, had guns put at his face. And then
I guess she's going to go over this. Let's see if she says anything about what her plans are for the rest of the segment.
coming up, and it's something that just kind of rattled us all about 30 minutes ago. And then Riley Strain. We covered that story nonstop on this network and on this show in particular, and I always smelled a rat. I never believed that Riley just fell into the water and died because he was drunk. I always thought there was something more to it, and it turns out I'm not alone. Riley's parents and his step-parents, exclusive tonight with our Brian Enton, with some incredible new information about what happened that night, and also some things we did not know about what did not happen and should have, with people who should have cared more, and what they think of what the police did and didn't do. All of that is coming as well. I want you to hear this first about a drink that Riley was drinking and texting to his mother about.
I love you too. I mean, that's not something that you really normally taste any different.
Right.
It has a very consistent taste.
Yes. And that's why I'm like, you probably shouldn't drink that then.
Do you think that could have something to do with what happened?
Baby
boy doing.
Yeah, maybe there was something in it that shouldn't have been.
Did someone slip something into Riley's drink? Did Riley become overcome? And did Riley end up dying? Because in the world of the law, that math says felony by drugging someone, death resulted. That's felony murder. We're going to talk about that coming up.
In the world of the law, you need more than a rumor.
Scott Peterson, there's a flicker in the news. I wonder, is it going to change? Is he going to get out of prison? Or is he going to continue serving life, no parole for the death of his wife and unborn son? Here he was at a hearing today. I'm going to show you a little moment that was a little lighter where he was laughing, tell you why, and also what none of the reporters saw while covering this hearing today. All of that coming up straight ahead. But first, there's a question here. When a mystery is solved, when do we determine that? You know, when a suspect or suspects are locked up, or when a body or bodies are found? Because both of those things happen in the case of the missing Kansas/Oklahoma moms, Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. But guess what? News is still breaking. Facts are still missing. Loose ends are still hanging, and we are still digging. But tonight we have one fewer loose end, and it is a big one. Tests have confirmed that the bodies that were found on Sunday in a freshly dug hole in a pasture are indeed Veronica and Jillian, which is devastating news for their families, and it is very, very bad news for 4 other people. As you know, if you joined us here last night, Tiffany Adams and her boyfriend, Tad Cullum, those are the top 2 on the, Tiffany on the left and Tad on the right. They're charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to murder, and kidnapping. I'm
going to be honest with you guys. I don't like Ashley Banfield. Not the biggest fan of NewsNation either. And I kind of like Brian Enton because he called out Zav Girl and her bullshit. But it's like, like you listen to her and she's just so opinionated. She's just like such a poor man's Nancy Grace, and Nancy Grace sucks. And, so.
Partner of Grandma Tiffany's boyfriend and alleged co-conspirator to the double murder, Tad Cullum. The partner, who I should mention, is also a municipal judge, was in Tad's house while it was being raided and had guns drawn and pointed to his face while Tad was being arrested. He has a lot to say about these suspects and about the secretive anti-government religious group they belong to called God's Misfits. And you're going to hear all of that in just a moment. But first, what about the 5th man? What is going on? He's named in the court documents as part of the plot. He's described as right there at the scene. The 5th man who is not on the list of people arrested.
The thing is this is good exposure, because any exposure is good, for what's going on with the Karen Reed trial. It's important that the country knows about this. It's important that the world knows about it. And so, but the thing is, like, this is grocery store checkout asswipe bullshit. That's all this stuff is. The
teenager said her mom told her that on the morning of March 30th, mom and dad, actually stepdad, Cora and Cole, Well, they blocked that roll that Veronica and Jillian were driving on and diverted the two women to a remote spot where Tiffany, Tad, and Paul Grice were waiting for her and the two women. The teenager also revealed an earlier attempt to kill Veronica back in February and said that
it's not
Grice
opinion.
was involved in that scheme too.
It's not opinion. When you go on their website, it says unbiased news. It says unbiased news, and yet you just listen to Ashley Banfield straight up say that she believes that she doesn't believe that this young man died in an accident. When the family is fine with that closure, apparently, and the experts are saying, but she has nothing to base this on other than, yeah, you know, like it's different. Like you might be saying, oh, well, what about the Karen Reed thing? You don't think? Well, the difference is like there's proof. You know what I mean? Like there's tons and tons of proof to show that there's major inconsistencies in this investigation. There's plenty, but like with the Riley Strain thing, there's nothing. You don't. Kid fell off a bridge. You know, that's it. That's what they determined. I suspect foul play, and you only suspect foul play because you can't rule it out. That's it. And since you can't rule it out, you're going to milk it for everything you can because it's going to get you viewers. That's what Ashley Banfield is doing.
Out there today, did a lot of looking about and asking questions, and he's live with me now. So, Brian, take me to that property. Tell me everything you know about the land, the landowner, and what you were able to see.
Yeah, first of all, actually, bear with me with the weather because it's been crazy here on the Oklahoma-Kansas line. We had a wind advisory today. There was a tornado last night, and now there's another big storm moving in. So it's going to get a little wet, but I want to get to all of our points. Yes, I went to the house in the area where the bodies were discovered. It's about 8.5 miles or so from where the mom's car was left in a very rural area. It is a piece of land that Tad was renting, was leasing out from an owner there. And there was a barn there. The bodies were discovered near a dam. There was some digging, and that's when they found them. The owner I met with, he was crying when he was telling me the story. Totally shocked by all of this. Can't believe it. Can't believe this happened on his land. Was shocked when the police showed up and started digging. But that is where those women were found, Ashley.
Okay, so now tell me, there's so much I want you to unload here, but you also got an interview today with Tad Cullum's business partner, who happens to be a municipal judge, who was coincidentally there at Tad's house while Tad's house was being raided. And then there's been a big twist tonight. Tell me everything that's happened.
There is, and I'm going to get to the twist in a second because this is really crazy and goes back to the point that people here are very scared to talk. But yes, we talked to the municipal judge here, happened to be walking by, got in the car with me and chatted. He is a good friend of Tad. He is a business associate. They were working together. He was at Tad's house when the SWAT team showed up. You remember Nancy Lou had that crazy video. The SWAT team showed up and he was there. He had a gun pointed at his face, he says. And he also knows a little bit about this group, the God's Misfits, the religious cult group. I asked the judge about it. Listen to what he told me, Ashley.
When's the last time you saw Tad?
Bob. I was there when they raided it.
You were there.
Tad and I have been working together the last month in a business, and I was down there.
Thank you, Cheryl, for the Venmo.
What was that like? Being with a military past in Vietnam, it brought back some really bad memories. Looking down the barrel of those rifles, it was very hard for me. It brought back a lot of memories, a lot of bad things. Did you ever get a bad vibe from Tad?
No. Tad was one of the nicest, funniest. I seen him almost on a daily basis this last month. We were working together. I couldn't even believe he was involved in it.
What about Tiffany?
I didn't see her a lot. I've known her for years. Always thought she was just a little bit out in left field. But again, just never believed that they would do this kind of thing.
According to the affidavit, they were involved in this group, God's Misfits.
Yes.
What do you know about that?
Never even heard of it until this come up. Knew zero, nothing about it.
And what have you learned?
This is NewsNation. So
to me,
I can't get video, but I can stream the audio.
And I can't say this for fact.
That's what we're doing
what
right
I've
now.
heard, it's kind of like a cult.
An interview with Turtleboy.
A lot of cults use God as their background to justify what they
I don't know
do.
what's going on.
To me, that's what it sounds
This
like.
is what's
Are they
playing on
anti-government
right now? When I pull it up on my app,
very anti-government.
Because I have an app here.
Okay, so in a very strange twist, Ashley, I just was notified that that judge was forced to resign after doing that interview with me this afternoon. The mayor, he was appointed by the mayor, and the mayor basically said, "I'm not happy you did the interview," and talked about any of this, and said, "You know, we want your resignation," and he had to submit a letter of resignation.
You know what I
Keep in
mean?
mind, he didn't talk
That's
at all
live.
about anything in a professional sense. He's just a municipal judge. He has nothing to do with the case at all. Just goes back to like why people are not wanting to talk around here, how powerful these suspects are, and now this judge is out of a job just for telling us that story this afternoon.
And again, that story has absolutely nothing to do with the murder or the evidence or anything, just the experience of what the arrest was. It's astounding. And I'm sorry, Brian, you're getting pelted with rain. I can't let you go, though. Did this judge know anything about Paul Grice, that fifth man that we are mystified about? Does he know him? Does he know why he wasn't arrested? Any info?
No, he knew absolutely nothing about him, which is interesting because he knows pretty much everybody in town. Everybody we've asked for the most part doesn't know much about him. I mean, you touched on it earlier, though. He was also, according to authorities, part of God's Misfits, the group. He was apparently involved in this plot to kill Veronica back earlier this year. So we know that from the affidavit, but we're not really having an easy time getting other information on him and why he wasn't arrested. Is he perhaps now cooperating with the investigation? We haven't been able to nail that down at this point.
Okay, guys, listen, I know Turtleboy is so pretty and we all love to look at him, but I'm going to settle for just being able to hear his conversation with Ashley Vanfield. I'm absolutely okay with that. So that's what we're going to do
on its roadway.
But I appreciate all the offers. Thank you.
Very few public documents that we can't find even a picture of this Paul Grice. I just want to play something very quickly. Veronica Butler's attorney appeared on Chris Cuomo's program earlier and made this quick comment just about everything that he experienced getting to know Veronica in this horrible custody battle. Have a look.
The information that you guys had reported on, Tiffany Adams' own son, Wrangler Rickman, had put some posts on social media about threats that his own mother had made against him. That was what really raised my eyebrows, firstly, in speaking with Veronica, and what I thought kind of made this a little bit different than a normal custody case. And certainly, like I say, raised my eyebrows, gave me some pretty serious cause for concern. I think Veronica knew that obviously it was a extremely serious situation. Unbelievable. But to know that somebody is capable of doing something and then that they would do something, I mean, are two very different things.
Listen, it's a tragedy all around. We're still digging on the story, but I know that you've been doing double duty today, Brian, and I'm sorry again, in the rain, I'm going to put you to work on the second story here, but you had this remarkable...
I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Ask Bob, thank you so much. Well, my house is yours if you come up for the trial. I will drive you back and forth to trial, food at my house, or a nice restaurant. You were a hero in Canton. I'll show you John's house near me. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do if I head out there, or even if I do head out there at all. But I've gotten a few offers like that, and it's so kind. I cannot get over that. You guys are just the nicest people, like, ever. Seriously, it's really crazy. So thank you so much. Wow, mind blowing, really. This is this case has changed the way I look at so many things.
Finding Riley, and now they're opening up about all of these other details about what they've learned happened that night. They were able to get Riley's bank records now, and we now have a look and we have a map at exactly which bars he went to. We knew Luke Bryan's bar, but we now know all the bars, and we know the order that he attended those bars. It was Miranda Lambert's bar first, Garth Brooks' bar second, Kid Rock's bar third, and then he ended up at Luke Bryan's bar fourth. And again, they've figured this out by looking at his bank records, and they've revealed something else that they've never talked about before, Ashley. It's shocking. It is a conversation, a text message conversation that Riley had with his mother at one of those bars. They're not sure which one he was at, not Luke Bryan's bar, but one of the ones before. I want you to listen to what they said.
He had sent me a text and said that he had ordered he was drinking a rum and coke and it didn't taste good. And I said, well, you probably shouldn't drink it then. He goes, well, it tastes like barbecue. And I go, well, that sounds awful. And he said,
yeah,
well, it sounds good, but it's not.
When a rum and coke normally tastes the same, I mean, that's not something that you really normally taste any different.
Right.
It has a very consistent taste.
Yes. And
Brian
that's why
is like, yeah,
you probably shouldn't drink that then.
I know exactly.
Do you think that could have something to do with
something's
what
wrong?
happened?
Rum and coke taste like.
Yeah, maybe there was something in it that shouldn't have been.
I mean, even if there wasn't foul play at the river, but if something happened in the bar, that's the kind of thing that could hurt someone else.
Exactly.
And you hear about that happening to women, but it likely happens to men too, I'm sure.
From the stories that we've been told from Uber drivers and just different individuals that reached out to us that either happened to a family member or happened to them in Nashville, there's something there.
There's something going on in that town.
It just feels like you come up to a stopping point every time we get somewhere. It's almost just feels like there's something holding everybody back from fully giving us what we need, and there's just something there. There is something there. It's just,
be it money or bad publicity.
Right. We don't know, but we truly want to try to help, this situation.
I did, Paul.
Help others.
Nobody.
You looked great, buddy.
Needs to go through.
Everybody looks
what
great.
We've had to go through. That we've had to go through it.
I'm gonna go over Turtleboy's video that he put up. It's like a 30-minute video. I was watching some of it. Turtleboy got actually some really great footage of everyone gathering at the trial today, and I definitely want to go over that because I thought it was great. So after Turtleboy's interview, we'll go over that.
Did and isn't continuing. The state now looking at cameras from the bars, according to the family, trying to figure out, what he drank. Did someone slip something in his drinks? All of that now being looked at, Ashley.
Now, here's the thing. Now, now, please understand me when I say this because I don't want it misinterpreted. But a lot of people are concerned, and rightfully so, about John O'Keefe being lost in the entire Karen Reed thing. And I don't think that he is. I believe that everyone still, all people who want Karen Reed free, want to see the people who are responsible for John O'Keefe's death held accountable. Everyone wants that, and everyone wants justice for him. But also, I want to say that, and obviously, not for the same reasons, and I'm not trying to compare the importance of the two people. Of course not. But I do believe it's important to make sure that we don't forget Turtleboy in all of this. If I'm being honest, there's a lot. I mean, most people would not know about this case if it weren't for Turtleboy, and the sacrifice that he made. You know, like, we can't forget this guy went to jail for 2 months, man, and he sat in there for 2 months to make a point. You know, and I just want to be very clear and be very careful that that point doesn't get lost. You know, I see, you know, and I don't think it is. You know, I don't believe it is, but you know, it's important that people give Turtleboy a voice and give him credit for what he's done. I don't think that he's a villain in all this at all. Not at all. You know, it doesn't matter what your feelings are about the guy personally and what your opinions are about his character. The fact of the matter is that he he is, you know, he played in a very, to say the least, to understate it, an intricate role in this being in the public forefront. So we can't forget that. I think it's important not to forget that. You know, like I said, the guy, the way I see it, the guy sat in jail for 2 months for my First Amendment rights, to be able to sit up here and talk to you guys without censoring myself and feeling strong and feeling confident about that, you know? And that's only because I personally feel like I have the right to do that. But Turtleboy went to jail for 2 months for my right to do that. That's the way I see it, you know? So, and I think all of the mainstream media should be they should feel the same way, you know? Any of us who use even our social media platforms to speak our minds, you know, that's someone who did time. He could have pled out. He could have pled out. He could have made life easier for himself, you know, and just, fuck this. This is too much. I know people that absolutely would have done that, you know, but he didn't do that. He sat in jail for 2 months.
Wherever you go, America's fastest growing cable news network.
So, yeah, I'm just waiting for, here, I can remove it like this and then keep checking once in a while so you guys don't get blasted in the ears with commercials. Okay. Yeah. So, you know, I don't want it to be like that, man. I don't think that would be fair for Turtleboy to lose any credit for what he's done. Lane, thank you so much. Glad you're saying that. Turtleboy needs voice, credit, and support. Thanks, Will. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, still commercials right now. Right. We still live in America. You know? Like, we still live in America. Oh man, we got to do it. I skipped the last one.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Suzanne, thank you. Aiden has the gift of bringing the best people together. He has done this for years. Yeah, I could see that. I've only been familiar with him for a few months, but my personal experience with him so far has been nothing but positive. I think he's a great guy. Yeah. Thank you so much, Suzanne. Let me see. Let's see.
About the disappearance and about what happened afterwards. Here's Riley Strain's mom and dad and
God.
step parents with our Brian Enton.
So it's
they've
still,
got a mountain of evidence that they're working on filtering through, and he has been in contact.
and I hate like minimizing the Riley Strange stuff, you know, but at the same time, it's like their coverage of it, you know, like, does that make me a dick? Does that make me a dick? You know, like if I was watching like somebody that I respected covering Riley Strain, then I'd be like, okay, you know, but I'm not. Yeah. The thing is I have a real hot and cold type of view on Brian Enton, you know. I mean, if you're even at all involved in the true crime world, man, you know, you're gonna listen to stories from here and there from you know, Ashley Banfield and Brian Enton, and sometimes they're just exhausting. You know, sometimes they're just exhausting. It's like listening to Nancy Grace, you know, like I need a shower and a joint after I listen to Nancy Grace, you know, because fuck, you know, she's exhausting.
You know, you've got celebrity bars involved. You've got Nashville, which is a huge tourist destination. You've got a big fraternity with chapters all over the country. A lot of people who probably just would prefer that you guys stop doing it.
I think we got a super chat. 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 Super chat.
Paul Cristoforo, thank you, buddy. Aiden brought this to the forefront. Hell, without him, we wouldn't be suffering through NewsNation. Happy birthday, Cherry. Yeah, she got the full song too. Thank you, Paul Cristoforo, and thank you, Leanne McGinnis. Will, we appreciate all you do. You must come to Massachusetts. You are part of the story too. Also, happy birthday, Cherry. Again, man, I'll do the best I can to make that happen. I really will. Thank you so much, Leanne. Ask Bob again. Thank you so much, buddy. Will, after Turtleboy, you have been the most important voice for Karen Reed. You have broken stories like the first to play the cell and other unique stuff. We need you, Will. I'm here, buddy. I'm not going anywhere, man. Thank you so much. That means a lot. And I just love hanging out with you, man. I really do. You guys are just fantastic and cool and great. Seriously. This is the best experience I've ever had on YouTube. Like spiritually, I can honestly say that I don't think that I've ever been in a better place spiritually than I have been in the last 6 months. Like for real. It's crazy. Like very, very, very peaceful. Very peaceful. Yeah, it's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling, and it's a nice feeling to be passionate about something and be able to interact with like-minded people who are rational and kind and thoughtful, and it's just crazy. This is the best experience in covering a case that I've ever had in my life. Most positive experience I've ever had. And in the under the craziest circumstances of a case too, which is mind-blowing.
They're his fraternity brothers.
All right. I just have to keep checking, you know. So yeah. Like I've got, you know, this really I think a lot of it has to do with having Clubber too. Having him to like take care of, and it's different because like I had this really great relationship with a cat. I had this cat once, and he was just like my homie, and extremely affectionate. But for some reason with Clubber, it's just different. very similar circumstances that I ended up actually with Clubber that I did with Clyde. That was my cat's name. And you know, but I'm also in a way better place now than I was when I got that cat. So it's crazy. I can enjoy the love and us, that vibe of us taking care of each other. I can enjoy that more. It's really dope. Like it's really dope. Clever's just like the sweetest, most amazing dog fucking ever. And he listens and he's just, yeah, he's great.
Slam when you let them shut. I woke up at 3:15 a.m.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I mean, no, I don't have that cat anymore. Another family has him now, and they're very happy. So they're very happy. They're all very happy. I wouldn't have, there's kids, and I wouldn't have the heart to take them back. But you know, I believe that things just end up kind of happening the way they're supposed to happen. And everybody is exactly where they're supposed to be. And I absolutely, it's a really cool feeling to be able to go with that kind of flow, you know.
Talk to any of them to say, tell me your whole entire story. Would I like that? Yeah, yes. It would be nice.
Now that you've found Riley, do you feel like you have a different purpose in terms? I mean, do you want to know everything that happened? Is there like a hole? How would you describe it?
Of course, there's a hole in my heart. There always will be.
This is heartbreaking.
And we may never know what happened that night. And that makes it even worse for me. But yeah, I would like to know everything.
I mean, I don't know.
that
I
happened
can't
that
speed
day.
it up either. So
I don't understand why they haven't reached out to us wanting to provide information of that night. You know, maybe I'm crazy, but why should we have to reach out to them and beg them?
See, the thing is they're catering to their demographic, you know, like these are they're catering to the Krama people. You know what I mean? These are the Krama people. This is what the Krama channels are talking about. It's the Riley Strain case and the Sebastian Rogers, and that's what's going on. And so that's where they get the most views, because like I said, they're tabloid. NewsNation is a tabloid. And so that's the demographic that they attract. So they save Turtleboy, you know, something that's actually important. You know, they save that for when people are about to go to bed. That's what they do. They got to cover the other stuff first, you know. The stuff that people are going to be blasting all over Twitter about and all over Facebook groups. Oh my God, did you hear the sound in her voice? She sounded suspicious to me. The way Brian Etten answered her. Oh my God. That kind of bullshit just spins and spins and spins, and it's pretty awful. I don't have it in me anymore for that shit. You know, like there's people that I still like in that community, you know what I mean? But overall, I pretty much just told that whole community to go fuck themselves. Like I just didn't, I don't want anything to do with it anymore. But yeah, it's like Okay, so Turtleboy is next. All right.
Rudy specials.
So yeah. I can't with the people who reach out to these victims and oh God, all of the drama that takes place. They drag these victims' families into YouTube drama when they think that they're just spreading information on their missing kid, and then they don't realize that they're getting suckered into YouTube drama. It's crazy. And it's really sad.
News Network.
Hello and welcome to the Hill.
And it's infuriating, really. It's frustrating and infuriating because it happens all the time. Yeah, I keep checking. It's just a commercial break right now. I keep checking, but
this is historic and we'll take you through it.
And to find NewsNation on your screen, go to joinnn.com.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing is NewsNation feeds into that shit. They just do. To me, it's just, I'll be nice.
The National Archives and Records Administration.
Like I'm saying, I'm gonna be nice after all the shit I've already said, but whatever. I could say a lot worse.
Support they need. At understood.org.
This is gonna be loud. I'm just waiting for it to come back.
NNN.com.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not.
I know I'm muted. I was talking to Clubber. Sometimes that's private. Shit I talk about with my dog ain't none of your damn business.
But you would better believe we're covering a trial that got underway today on the outskirts of Boston. A financial analyst and college professor named Karen Reed is charged with killing her longtime boyfriend, a Boston cop named John O'Keefe, on a snowy night in January of 2022. O'Keefe, the guy, he died outside a house party in Canton, Massachusetts, where Reed had dropped him off after a night of drinking. The house belonged to a retired Boston Police Unit commander named Brian Albert. The prosecutors claim that Karen Reed intentionally backed over her boyfriend with her car and then left him to bleed out or freeze to death, whichever came first. Karen's lawyers and a band of extremely committed supporters say, not so fast. The victim's injuries are far more consistent with a fight than being hit by a vehicle. They claim fragments of Reed's taillight, which were found at the scene, were actually planted there by investigators who were trying to cover up whatever happened at that house party of a well-connected former Boston cop. And they not only claim it, they say they've got the video to prove it. Those accusations were loud enough and apparently credible enough that the FBI opened an investigation of the investigators, and that is still going on as we speak. But Karen Reed's trial started anyway this morning with jury selection, and 4 jurors were seated before the judge called it a day. And those extremely committed supporters that I mentioned, they have picked apart this case from every possible angle, and they've shown up in droves at pretrial hearings. They bought the signs and the T-shirts that say "Free Karen Reed," and they've made such a spectacle that for the trial, the judge says, you got to stay 200 feet away and no bullhorns. A local blogger named Aidan Kearney, also known online as Turtleboy, was one of the first to take up Karen Reed's cause and begin a deep dive into some of the aspects of the case that didn't add up. Some of his followers have turned up at the homes of witnesses and prosecutors, and Kearney himself is facing charges of witness intimidation. He's pleaded not guilty, and he was at the courthouse today, and he is here tonight live. Aidan, thanks for being here. This town seems like crazy divided. Is that an assessment that's accurate?
I wouldn't even say it's divided. A lot of people say that, but when I go into Canton and I hold peaceful protests outside of Chris Albert's pizza shop on the busiest street in town, all I get are honks, people screaming, "Free Karen Reed, we support Turtleboy." So I think it's kind of a misnomer that the town is divided. There's like 50 McAlberts, and then everybody else who knows that John O'Keefe was murdered inside 34 Fairview Road by the Alberts and left out to die, and that Karen Reed was framed. This is a fact, not an opinion. It happened. The evidence is undeniable that shows that.
Well, and I just, for the purposes of this program, have to say that's an allegation that has not been proven, and yet Karen is on trial. I do want to ask you this. Why do you think that the police, came after you and charged you with witness intimidation, among other things? Like, they really threw the book at you. And I think you were even incarcerated for a while and had to wear an ankle monitor based on your protests and your efforts to show people other sides of the evidence.
Because I'm too effective. The journalism is too effective that we've been doing here. We've uncovered things that the police have attempted to hide. For instance, they attempted to hide the identity of the plow driver. They lied in their reports and said that Fairview Road was not plowed that night. I went down and tracked down the plow driver myself, Lucky Loughran, who told me that there was nobody on the lawn of 34 Fairview Road when he went by at 2:30, which means that Karen Reed could not have hit him at 12:30. He also told me that he had spoken with the FBI about this already, and that there was a Ford Edge parked right next to where the body was found 3 hours later at 3 a.m. 3 members of the Albert family own a Ford Edge. I'm asking questions like that. I'm tracking down people involved in this case. I'm doing the work that the state police are intentionally covering up. And for that reason, the same corrupt cops who I've been exposing filed these bogus witness intimidation charges against me, which is nothing more than legally protected constitutional speech, which journalists have been doing for decades. And they have weaponized this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've only got like 30 seconds left, but I got to ask you this. Some of the injuries are very weird. Mr. O'Keefe has injuries sort of above the neck and shoulders, which maybe doesn't jive with being hit by a car. He's got a gash in the back of his head, which would be a lot of blood, yet not a lot of blood found at the scene. He's got what looks like dog bites on his arm, and I understand that the house, there was a dog that lived in that house. All of this, as the FBI is investigating the investigators, again, about 20 seconds left. Has the FBI approached you and asked what you've been able to dig up?
Our attorneys have spoken with the FBI about both my case and the Reed case and ways in which they're connected. The FBI knows that John O'Keefe was not killed inside that house. Was not killed outside the house, that he was killed inside the house, that he was inside the house, that his Apple Health data shows him going up and down 3 flights of stairs while he was inside that house. So they absolutely know. They've convened a federal grand jury.
That's fascinating.
Yes, in due time, the people are responsible.
Sorry to interrupt that. That's a headline. I'm running short on time. I want to have you back because this trial is just getting underway. Aidan Kearney, thanks so much for being on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Ashley.
And we'll have Aidan on again. Coming up next, sometimes the best thing you get from a court hearing with a well-known defendant.
I mean, that's about what I expected it would be. Turtleboy was great. That's the thing is, Turtleboy, he could go on and on and on. Like, the thing is any one of us could. Look at me. I have, it's my content. This is what I do. I go on and on and on about it. So imagine Turtleboy, you know, and like, based on everything he's uncovered, as much time as he spends thinking about it, writing about it, you know, it doesn't do the case justice to have him on for what, 60 seconds and rush through it, you know? And so, but it's interesting that NewsNation is just now picking this up, you know? Now it's like I said before. Do you guys remember? When it was about, I don't know, 4 months ago? And I said, when this goes to trial, you're going to see all these other people coming out of the woodwork, not knowing anything about the case. Like, take Dolly, for instance. Dolly, who didn't even watch any of the most recent hearings and traveled all the way out to Boston for what? To cover something that he doesn't know anything about? How's he going to cover it? So, I mean, so there's a lot to this case. There is so much to this case, and it takes a lot of thought, you know. And I don't think Sean was coming up. I guess not. I guess Sean wasn't coming up for that. But I mean, yeah, but this is gonna happen, you know. Your creators with 100,000 plus are gonna start talking about it, you know. Now, the people who get a pass from me, as far as that goes, I'm just kidding. But you know, like there are some folks that seem very, very genuinely like intrigued by this case. You know, like DUI guy seems totally. He just dropped a new video, and he seems very passionate about what's going on. So that's like really cool. But I'm telling you, these other creators are going to come out of the woodwork. That's just going to happen. Because it's safe now to do it. It's safe to express an opinion now. Microdots, what's up? They can't get the name straight. Meanwhile, we're all PhDs on this case, right. I don't know. I mean, like, I think DUI at least like seems to be genuinely interested, you know, genuinely fascinated, you know. I mean, we're YouTube creators. Like, I'm not going to judge him if he's trying to promote his channel, you know. This is, I mean, I'm grateful that my channel's growing, you know. This is an important thing to talk about. If my channel is going to grow, I want it to be about a case that I am passionate about. So yeah. Now let's watch Turtleboy at court today.
Hello. Bus stop live from the courthouse today.
This is on his page. Like, I know all of you guys are already subscribed to Turtleboy. This is on his page, so.
Oh, it's my old car, the Norfolk Sheriff's Office. All right. Hello. I just wanted to say hello. Thank you guys for coming.
We had some logistic issues on day one. We're trying to get more people on this end because of the visibility we have.
Yeah, so.
But now they can't walk through the zone because they get all their.
How's it going? How are you? Hi, how you doing?
Hey, nice to meet you. Would you be interested in doing an interview with us?
In like 10 minutes. I mean, I'm just doing my morning live stream, and then, yeah, I'll be around. Perfect. All right, sounds good. All right, guys. So we're here at Norfolk Superior Courthouse. I'm standing right outside the buffer zone. This is we got these everywhere here. So like, look at if they expected to silence people, basically every
I
main
can't
road,
go on the inside.
every main road of getting in here has been occupied. So they've set up. Wait till you see it down here. We're gonna take a walk down here too. So welcome, guys.
I
Today is
mean,
the first day of the Karen Reed murder trial.
what that proves is how pointless it is to, like, you know, make this buffer zone, because any traffic coming in is going to see these people with their free Karen Reed shit. Stupid. Like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Judge Bev, dude.
I've been waiting for this for quite some time, obviously. All right. So, check this out. Zoo over here. It's a zoo. All right. So.
Yeah, I am tired, man.
It's
been a long day. And then tomorrow we're doing it again.
Can I cross? All right, we're crossing. All right, we're crossing over here. All right, welcome, guys. So then we come over here.
And I go back to the gym tomorrow.
I like it. All right. Paul's here. How you doing, Paul? All right. How's it going? So look at this. Say, everybody say hello. Hello. So they're making people wait over here. That's Karen's brother. So then we have over here. We're right outside the courthouse. So they're not letting anyone. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. So we got up here. So that's the media all lining up.
I mean,
decent crowd building up. They're not letting anyone in.
It's so funny because, listen, you've got Michael Morrissey's DA's office, the Norfolk County DA's office, and they're really focused on not just on Turtleboy's case. On Turtleboy's case, they're, you know, in court, Mello is trying to paint him out to be this really like a menace, a villain, and a menace, right? And then you have them doing it. You have Lolly doing it in the Karen Reed trial. You have Lolly doing it in these hearings beforehand. So, but the thing is I never see video footage of people booing and hissing at Turtleboy, unless it's Grant. You know what I mean? Like, Grant's like the only one that I ever see like sneering or yelling in any obscenities or anything at Turtleboy or Janetti. You know, like, that's it. Like, all the video footage that I ever see is people like honking their horns and be like, hey, Turtleboy. The guy shows up to opening day in, you know, in the upper deck seats, opening day, Red Sox, Fenway, and everyone there is applauding him and wanting to take pictures with him and wanting to shake his hand. You know, like, it's very, very telling. It's very, very telling, you know, when you think about it. It's telling in the sense of what the Commonwealth has on Karen Reed. If they have to use Turtleboy and not be truthful when they use Turtleboy, actually manipulate the Turtleboy situation to villainize him, to somehow villainize Karen Reed, is the epitome of desperation. It tells me they don't have anything on Karen Reed. It's just, it tells me that they don't believe even themselves that what they plan on using to convict Karen Reed is not going to work. Their defense is going to destroy it. They know it. They know that Karen Reed's defense is going to destroy anything that they try to come at them with. So it's just fascinating to me. That's exactly what that tells me when I say that it's telling. It's exactly what that tells me about the Norfolk County DA's office. And it's troubling. It's troubling when you think about it.
All these people have been, they're trying to get in. They've all been pushed over.
I mean,
They're not even
can
close
you
enough.
imagine? Can you imagine guys like Tully? You know what I mean? These fucking these guys who look all roided out. I don't know if they are or not, but you know, these fucking testosterone driven fucking, you know, bros. And they're, you know, can you imagine them? These cops, these people in positions of power, these testosterone fueled dudes, gym dudes in these positions of power in the town of Canton, and Turtleboy, a guy who calls himself fucking Turtleboy, is bringing them down, is exposing the shit that makes them dirty. Can you imagine how that infuriates them? Can you imagine how people in Michael Morrissey's office or Michael Morrissey himself is going to be like, I'm going to be taken down by a guy named fucking Turtleboy? That's not going to fucking happen. Not on my watch. There's no fucking way that's ever going to happen. I am not going down at the hand of a guy named fucking Turtleboy. A blogger? Are you fucking kidding me? Some guy used to be a teacher and now he's just fucking breathing down my fucking neck? That's what's going on? Just all of a sudden the guy's interested in my shit? That's got to be a hard pill to swallow, man. You know? That's got to be a hard pill to swallow if you're somebody in a position of power in Norfolk County and Turtleboy has exposed your shit all over his blog, all over social media. I mean, that's got to be some tough shit to deal with, dude. That's got to be some fucking ego crushing shit. Some fucking nut shrinking fucking shit right there. I mean, that's a dick shrinker for sure. That's a dick shrinker for the Alberts. It's a bummer, you know, for them. And I love it. And I'm not trying to downplay Turtleboy. Like, I'm just saying that's how ignorant these fucks are, is that somebody can't just be an intelligent person who feels affected by their bullshit and decided to do something about it. You know? But they can't imagine that. That's beyond their understanding. In their egos, that's beyond their understanding. They can't grasp the concept of some decent person doing something because it's the decent thing to do, and they can, and they have the tenacity to get it done. That's not something that they have the concept of because their egos won't allow them to. So now they're just faced with this whole reality that a guy named fucking Turtleboy that they would never ever take seriously is going to be the person that is ultimately responsible for them being indicted at some point for murder. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, that is absolutely an Albert dick shrinker. Bummer for you guys.
No signs over there because they're in the buffer zone. And nobody wants to go to jail because it's not fun there. It's not fun in Norfolk County House of Corrections. All right, so then we're going to come down here. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So we're going to walk down here. We're going to go outside the buffer zone. We're going to go outside the buffer zone, see what it's like over here. All right. Oh. It's helicopters. If you see that, choppers. Sniper on the roof. Good morning, everyone. Good morning from Norfolk Superior Courthouse. Wait till you see what we have down here. Let me, can I switch this around? So this is what we have down here. There's a wall of people. So we're going to go outside the buffer zone over here. As you guys can see, they put up little barriers here. So this is where the First Amendment begins over here. Okay. I'm currently in the anti-First Amendment zone. I've crossed into the free zone. Hello, everyone. I'm in the free zone. I have First Amendment rights again. Now I could say free Karen Reed over here. Look at this.
Wow.
Look at this. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, if they wanted to silence people, how's it going? They kind of failed. I mean, look at the line of traffic just to get in here is going to have to see that.
Right.
It's going to have to see that.
Right.
Right. Yeah. How's it going? Nice to see you. I mean, look at this. Look at this. If the goal was to silence people and like not let people see, they don't want people to know that this is a controversial trial, that an innocent woman is being lynched here. They don't want people to know that. So they put up a 200-foot zone. There they are. There's Rita and company.
I mean, that's what it boils down to. They don't want people to know that an innocent woman is being railroaded. And the judge is fucking totally like part of it. I mean, she's absolutely helping facilitate this bullshit.
How's everybody doing? I love it.
This case should never have gone to trial. This case should never have gone to trial.
I love it. I love it. Look at this. If they wanted to silence people, it appears they have failed. Oh, thank you very much. I got the glare pin. Check this out. Super chat. Okay. Thank you. Okay. We're going to cross here at some point.
Super chat.
Go over here.
Justice,
Okay. So we're going to super chat. Okay. Check this out. Super chat. Okay. Check this out. Super chat. Okay. Thanks out. Super chat. Okay. Thank you. Okay. We're going to cross here at some point.
Oh, my God.
Go over here.
justice, beat for justice. Come on.
Beat for you can do it in here. This is the First Amendment safe zone. You are allowed to have First Amendment rights here. I'll let you know. They're about to end in a moment. I'm about to lose my First Amendment rights. Okay. I can still talk and stuff. I just can't say stuff like free Karen Reed or Michael Morrissey sucks. I can't say anything like that outside of the free zone. And yeah, I didn't button the top tie. I hate button the top one. I fucking hate it. But I got my pink on. Everyone's got pink here today. What's up, everyone? I love it.
See, okay,
what do we got up here?
I love that he's out there doing that. He's walking all around, like he's giving you the experience of where the safe zones are and where they aren't, where you have rights and where you don't. He's giving you the tour of where the First Amendment starts and ends around the courthouse, which I absolutely love.
Here, we got a sign. No, you can wear the pin. What's going on, Doctor? Nice to see you. How are you? All right. Restricted area, no free speech per the Commonwealth. So that is unfortunate. So I guess if you work at the Boston General store and you want to put up some sort of sign in your store, you can't. You can't because you're not allowed to have First Amendment rights. So we're
oh my God. I know. I'm such a fucking child. That is the funniest shit in the world. Oh my God. Grant is John P. Riley. Oh my God.
What do we got here?
I hate you all.
Oh, danger. We got these barrels everywhere. Everywhere these barrels are. So this is interesting. Okay. Oh, this guy wants to talk to me for 1 sec. Hold on. Hold on 1 sec. This guy's waving me over. I know this guy. He works inside the courthouse. Oh, we can get a picture. Sure, let's do it. This pisses off the family. Good answer. All right.
The Canton folks.
Oh, the Canton.
Canton people.
There we go.
There we go. Give me the finger.
Give him the finger. There we go. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Give me the finger.
Tommy CPU and Tommy Moore. He's awesome. I agree completely. All right. I love Tommy CPU. I was saying good things about I was listening to Tom CPU on my way in today. It was soothing. Okay. So we're going past. Oh, this place. I hate this place. Nothing but bad memories in there. How's it going? Nice to see you. Not inside, not in shackles this time. Yeah. This is one of my old jail guide. He would always undo my shackles. We go way back. This is Nathan Reed and Paul Cristoforo. Word is that the Reeds aren't even going to be let in. That's what people are saying.
So
the media's getting let in. They're letting the media in.
You know what? Let me not even bring that up.
They are letting the media in, I see. Grant Smith Jealous, I think, is in there.
Grant Smith Jealous.
Okay. This is so weird.
Dude, Grant's tweets
yeah, let's do it,
today
brother.
were fucking gold, bro.
There you go. Hit the reverse button. There we go. There we go. Excellent.
Good work.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So here we are. The courthouse is across the street there. You guys see it? So they just let the media in. And not all the media, it looks like. They said that they're going to let the jurors in first. Again, I don't really care about the jurors. I don't really give a shit about the jurors. We're not here for the jurors. We're here for the media. We're here to let the media know about what.
Cherry's out here in the chat hearing fucking shit about fingers and shackles and shit.
What's been happening?
It's too much for her.
What's been happening? The outrage in Norfolk County. So again, there are cones set up all over the place. So this is down here. There's Dedham police over there. Okay. It's time to fuck is right. So this is Dedham police and the Norfolk registry.
I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super.
Suzanne says, I want to see Grant's tweets. Yeah, maybe we'll go over them. Somebody's saying here that oh yeah, man. Tom got monetized finally, man. Good for Tom. I'm glad that he did that. Because he deserves it, man. Like he's out there like getting all that footage of people together. It's pretty great. True Crime Kangaroo, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Welcome. Okay, hold on. This is what we're doing. Okay, we're doing this. Suzanne, absolutely. You know I got you, girl. 1 second. Hold on. Okay. April 8th. I want to see that shit. Okay. A tall towel and a little turtle. Okay, I see the picture. This is the whatever that is. So Michael Gaffney, Grant is about 6 inches taller than the angry little Irishman. Poor tiny little turtle boy. Wow.
Great. I love what you did with your hair today. I just want to look at his hair. Hey, do you mind backing up a little bit? Yeah, look at the tattoo.
Why didn't you bring her?
I got a tat back there.
Why didn't you bring her today?
No, it's my initials.
Why didn't you bring her?
Girlfriend over there, Grant? No, that's my aunt, and it's not funny to joke about domestic violence, you coward
no, it's not.
punk.
Did you really
Wow.
beat her?
No, that is my
Did you
aunt.
touch her?
That is my
Should we
aunt.
start a GoFundMe for her? Is she a
Hey,
victim of
did you like that, AK?
Is she a victim of you? Auntie! Auntie, what did
Auntie,
he do to
say
you?
hi.
What did he do to you? Did he lay?
I don't think she likes you,
Do you
Aiden.
want to go find me? What did you do to her, Grant? What did you do to her? What are you doing?
Did you like that, AK?
What did you do, Grant? What did you do? What did you do to Auntie?
This guy
Leave Auntie
is
alone.
unfucking
Leave
believable.
Auntie
24
alone.
hours.
Leave Auntie alone.
8K and 20.
Any comment? What you did to
Wow,
Auntie?
you're not scared of me
Auntie,
this time.
Auntie,
Who's taller?
What did he do to you, Auntie?
Wow, really?
What did he do?
Listen, you South. What are you, a State Street VP or something?
Yeah. Grant, do you still need money for food?
Right now?
Yes.
No, my aunt got me a
Oh,
sandwich.
your aunt got her a sandwich. That's great.
What if she's a domestic violence victim? Do you think that's funny?
She is.
Oh
because you
my
touched her. Why did
God,
you do that to
dude.
her, Grant? Sources are telling me. Developing story. Any comment?
You make
Any
fun.
comment
You
on
make
that?
fun of
FBI
domestic
sources
violence.
are telling me that you did this.
How's Leah
Is
Fer-
this true?
How's
Is
Leah
this true?
Ferreira?
Is this true?
How's
Is
Leah
that true?
Ferreira,
FBI
Aiden?
sources.
How's Leah
FBI
Ferreira?
sources.
How's Leah Ferreira?
Shocking news. Shocking news.
Say hi to
Shocking
Leah.
news.
Say hi to Leah.
Shocking. Any questions?
I
Grant?
answered it.
Grant, why aren't you answering any questions?
I want to know
Grant?
where Leah
Grant,
Ferreira is.
Where did you get that jacket from?
Every
Grant?
time I
Where
say
did
the
you get
name,
that-
he yells louder.
Did you get that as a gift,
Who's
Grant?
Leah
Did you get that
Ferreira?
as a gift, Grant?
She's an FBI agent.
Did you get that as a gift? Wow. Are you working for the FBI, Grant? Did the FBI give you that jacket, Grant? Did they give you that jacket, Grant?
Oh my God, bro. Okay. All right, that was fun. Let's read some of his tweets here. Let's see. Oh, wait, there's another.
Why'd you tell him to vandalize Lindsay's car, you coward? You coward. You punk.
Old. Yeah, this is old.
Excuse me. Everybody watch out. Grant's coming.
I'm so beautiful.
Everybody
I'm so
watch
beautiful.
out.
Why'd you tell him to vandalize Lindsay's car, you coward? You coward. You punk.
Everybody watch out. Here comes Grant. Hold on. Look, Ron.
Excuse me. Everybody watch out. Grant's coming.
I'm so beautiful. I'm so beautiful. Why'd you tell him to vandalize Lindsay's car, you coward? You coward. You punk.
He's so obnoxious. Everybody watch out. Grant's coming through. That is so funny. Okay, hold on. And then this is here's the press conference after the first day. No, I don't want to watch that bullshit. This is old stuff, but it's saying it's only 3 hours. I remember reading this months ago. For those wondering, yes, my aunt did blow Turtleboy a kiss from across the street during this video. It was the highlight of my day. Thanks, Auntie. Or unless I'm thinking of something else. But he had these. Okay, here we go. So he writes, Grant writes, I can confirm some of this did happen today. Court staff took steps quickly to make sure it stopped, but the reality is multiple Karen Reed fans approached multiple different jurors from different sides of the buffer zone. Something has to be done. This can't continue. It needs to stop. The stuff that he says about Karen Reed is really funny here. Hold on. Okay. This one says, now finally Karen Reed puts down her phone. That was not a good look there for a few of those minutes, as multiple potential jurors seem to notice Reed on her phone. So what? So what? He posted some funny ass shit. I went over it earlier when I was live earlier today. It's really funny. Weird shit about Karen Reed. It was just really weird. But he might have taken him down. He might have deleted him. For the record, yes, I am indeed 6'2". Dr. Turtleboy is about 5'8" or so. Yes, I do have a tattoo of my initials on my skull and another fun tattoo on my upper back that I'll show you all in time. Yes, I called Turtleboy a punk and a coward to his face again. He's so proud of himself. God, I can't find. Yeah, he must have taken them down. I went over them earlier, though. They were funny. Maybe that's why he took them down. But they were funny. Dang. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go right to sleep. And I know I got to get up early for tomorrow's hearing. You have that all set. But I don't think there's anything else to go over, if I'm being totally honest. And it was weird. Let's watch what Ted Daniels says about this. Actually, no. Let's watch this real quick. Actually.
Now is get to one of these major trials that we really haven't had a chance to cover just yet here on Live Now. Live Now, look there over Dedham, Massachusetts. That's where we're going for our next story. It is the high-profile Karen Reed murder case. So remember, she is the woman accused of killing her boyfriend, who was a Boston police officer. We have some video there. Let's take that. So this is what we know. The story is so tragic. But here is where it gets so interesting. Reed's defense argues that she's being framed and that her boyfriend was beaten inside the home of a retired Boston police officer. So we're going to break all of this down about what we know about the case with our friend, legal analyst Nicole DeBoard, who joins us with more. Nicole, thanks for being with us. I know you've been kind of monitoring this as well. The trial just kicked off this week. I believe we're still in jury selection. I want to ask, though, the trial seems very messy. A lot of he said, she said, so to speak, and a lot of speculation online. How difficult will it be to find an impartial jury in this part of Massachusetts when these communities are so close-knit, this story is so high-profile and so sad?
It's incredibly sad, and it has already proven to be quite difficult for them to find jurors who either don't know about the case, because almost everyone in the community, that or a significant number of people that they've called to potentially be jurors in this case have responded to questions by the court that they have heard about the case. And of that group, many of them had responded that they had an opinion about the case, and even that opinion went so far as to be a bias. So it is proving to be difficult already. It has been a trial, or a case, if you will, before the trial even began, with many volatile issues and opinions which were discussed in the public eye.
Yeah, and let's go over some of the nuts and bolts of the case here, because I think this is the first time many of our viewers are coming to this trial. So she's pleaded not guilty to several charges, including second-degree murder. The state is using her cracked right taillight as evidence. So is that enough, do you think? Or do you expect other evidence to be presented? And how does that factor into the story overall?
Well, I think it factors into the story because they're using this as the piece of evidence, if you will, that connects her somehow to this idea that she, in some drunken state after leaving a bar, backed up over her husband and left him to die in the cold. That is essentially what the prosecution is saying. While on the other hand, the defense team is saying this is absolutely not true, and that there was a cracked tail light either by somebody else or from some other thing that happened, and that this was completely a setup done after her husband was beaten badly in the home of another police officer, who then had the means and ability to cover up the crime.
Wow. So just to also kind of keep setting the scene here and the stage, this happened in early 2022. Reed alleges that her boyfriend, O'Keefe, his name, was beaten up by another retired Boston police officer. She even makes that claim during her arrest, while she is getting arrested. And it's heard on body camera footage as well. So since she is the only one charged in this, does the other officer she's accusing even have to appear, even have to defend himself? Obviously, you know, he's a big factor in this because she has lofted this accusation against that officer, that retired officer. What is his role going to be in all this, if any?
It's possible and likely, in fact, that he will be a witness in this case, potentially called by the prosecution, where the prosecution will make an effort to show that this person had nothing to do with a beating or ultimately the death of her husband. On the other hand, I think we can expect some grilling cross-examination by the defense team if, in fact, the prosecution does call one of the individuals that they've already said their theory was caused the injuries to the decedent in this case, to Miss Reed's husband.
So that retired police officer, his name Albert, his attorney says his client has nothing to hide and is not subject of a federal investigation. FBI analysis of the phone, though, of his sister-in-law shows a web search. In that web search, how long to die in the cold, hours before they called 911 to report O'Keefe's body. So that was made, that Google search, that web search, hours before 911 is called. Is that enough, or is that just circumstantial to cast doubt on Albert's alibi, so to speak? I mean, some would say, or someone, you know, liken this, is that a smoking gun? I mean, that's quite obvious.
It's certainly a tangle of evidence in this case. Keep in mind, the only person on trial in this matter is the defendant, Miss Reed. And she is the person who is having to defend herself really through whatever happens in court. Now, she doesn't have to testify and her lawyers don't have to ask a single question. But her team will be doing all they can to show that there is another cause of death for Miss Reed's husband. And even though this other witness doesn't have to defend himself because he's not on trial, you can expect that he will be cross-examined thoroughly about exactly what went on in the evening and the hours up to finding the body of Miss Reed's husband.
I mean, Nicole, it does seem like the defense really has their work cut out for them because there's so many claims at play that they will have to do their best to try to prove, you know, her innocence in all of this. Of course, she's presumed innocent beyond a reasonable doubt here. But won't the prosecution have to establish a motive into why she wanted her partner dead?
Yes, although this is a manslaughter allegation, which is essentially without the same type of intent that's required for a murder, or even if they decide that she's responsible for a lesser amount of culpability, that you still have this tangle of theories that we can expect the defense
we got a special disliking for these bunkos.
A team to present. And one of the decisions the judges already had to make is whether or if to how much to limit this theory that there is a third party culprit. In other words, this other person who's responsible for the death instead.
So, to that point, though, do you think she's going to be the only one charged in this, or is the window of opportunity still open that they may charge more people in connection to this? I mean, investigators, they never tell the public when the case is closed, so to speak.
Is that the guy from How I Met Your Mother? No? Okay. Just checking.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we.
MJ Gaglio, FBI, open up. Karen Carver 2024. She has come home. Yeah, exactly. The chickens is coming home to roost, y'all. Absolutely. Thank you, MJ.
They usually say the investigation is ongoing. Do you think the likelihood will present itself that more people could be charged in this? And if that's the case, if that happens, how is Karen Reed's case different?
It's possible theoretically that somebody else could be charged, although this case has now been pending for a significant amount of time. You've had federal and state agencies do their part in ultimately bringing this evidence to make it available ultimately for jury to hear. It seems unlikely that there will be others charged. I mean, can we say for certain that no one will be charged? No, that's not something we can know for sure. But at this juncture, it appears that the prosecution really is interested in Miss Reed and only Miss Reed for criminal responsibility.
I don't know if you have any experience with, a defense and their client claiming that they have been framed for a crime that they have been charged with. How do those claims usually hold up in court? Is a jury, can a judge be amenable to those claims based on the facts presented? Is it taken seriously, is what I'm trying to say.
It's a difficult defense in many circumstances, but this is a unique case because the decedent is a former police officer. And the individuals that Miss Reed is saying framed her are also police officers who were connected to them in a relationship, a friendship, or as colleagues in such a way that you might not normally see in many cases, right? So where you have someone setting up a framing, these potential framers have the know-how, is what the defense team is going to be saying.
All right, Nicole DeBoard, thanks so much. And it seems like that's why this is so high profile, so public, because many in the community there must feel like it could happen to anyone. That seems to be kind of the prevailing sentiment.
Right? There you go.
It sure does. And it seems like Miss Reed has said from the beginning that she absolutely wasn't responsible, and she pointed to some other individuals who might be.
All right, Nicole DeBoard, as always, can't thank you enough for your insight into these high-profile cases and trials, and we'll check in soon.
All right. Hold on. And here's a summary of what happened today. Let's watch that. This is where we're at so far.
Also today, after months of protests, media coverage, and online conspiracy theories, the highly anticipated Karen Reed murder trial is officially underway. More than 100 potential jurors were called to that courthouse today.
And the defense team scored a big strategic victory. Reed is accused of killing her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, a Boston police officer, outside a home in Canton back in January of 2022. She arrived in court today, flanked by her legal team, cheered by supporters. Prosecutors say she hit O'Keefe with her SUV and left him to die in the snow. But her attorneys say she's being framed as part of a massive cover-up.
And we have team coverage for you tonight. But first, we want to begin with NBC 10's Eli Rosenberg. Is joining us live outside of the courthouse in.
I gotta say, I love Scott McGinnis's interviews. Every time Scott McGinnis does an interview, he's always just he talks to the reporter like everything, every answer that he gives is clearly common sense, and he's just kind of gives him a look like, do you really need me to answer this for you? But he does it anyway. Like, it's not condescending, but it's also just kind of like he marvels for a second, like that they actually asked him certain questions. I absolutely love it. Scott McGinnis is awesome. He gives the best interviews.
In Dedham with the very latest, Eli.
And Priscilla, talking with experts, they said just because of how much attention, how much focus this case has already received, picking a jury for this trial could take some time. And that is what we saw today. Some 90 potential jurors brought in early this morning. It was a day spent talking with them, asking them questions. And in the end, 4 jurors were seated. What started like this ended like this. As jury selection for Karen Reed's trial got started inside a Dedham courtroom.
Before you begin your deliberations.
Before the process of picking a jury could get underway, the judge ruling Reed's lawyers can, with restrictions, present a defense that centers around the idea there's no way Reed could have killed John O'Keefe in January 2022 because someone else did. The judge did instruct Reed's lawyers not to present this, though, in their opening arguments.
This is what I normally would call the SODI, which is some other dude did it. And that's kind of, they've laid the groundwork for that.
According to prosecutors, Reed hit O'Keefe, at the time a Boston police officer, with her SUV and left him during a blizzard in January 2022. He was found hours later outside a Canton home. Her lawyers counter, saying Reed is the victim of a massive cover-up. And O'Keefe was actually killed inside that Canton home.
The jurors selected for this trial will hear and judge the evidence.
Some 90 jurors brought into the court on Tuesday to be considered for the Reed jury. And in the end, 4 were seated.
Bring it to the court's attention.
Mark Aragos, a high-profile attorney not affiliated with the Reed case, says lawyers on both sides working hard to determine a potential juror's motives.
One of the greatest telltale signs if somebody is a stealth juror is if they want to serve on the jury. Because in my experience, having done this hundreds of times, very few people are eager to serve on a jury.
So as it stands right now, we have 4 jurors seated. We still need 8 plus alternates. So everyone is going to be back here tomorrow to go through the same process with a new pool of jurors. And the judge did tell jurors today this trial is expected to last 6 to 8 weeks. Live in Dedham, Eli Rosenberg, NBC 10 Boston.
Okay, Eli, not far from where you are, we find NBC 10's Jericho Tran. Jericho, the protesters were told to keep back 200 feet. I imagine police were there to enforce that.
Well, protesters that were carrying signs were asked to stay about 200 feet, but other protesters who were actually trying to get inside to be a part or to see that jury selection, they were actually allowed to go a little further up towards the court. But once again, they were kept behind barriers. We did see a very heavy police presence here, local police. We even had state police parked over here, and that's something that we can expect to see in the next couple weeks as well.
This is a murdered Boston police officer. It's murder.
A murder trial dividing families.
Family members have been ostracized. And a town. Everybody in Canton is suffering.
as threats.
Somebody was contacting my place of work a couple of times to try to get me in trouble for my comments on Facebook.
And questions about First Amendment rights.
It's like everything else that's happened in this country. They're picking away and picking away and picking away at our rights.
Circulate throughout the community as jury selection for the highly anticipated.
Wait, what?
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Thank you, Grandmaster Sid Sophos. That's a good question. Grandmaster Sid Sophos asks, Blair, if Karen Reid is cleared, will law enforcement face consequences and repercussions? In the UK, this could bring the government down. This could bring Michael Morrissey down, most definitely. To answer your question, to the best of my knowledge, I say it all depends on what the independent federal investigation uncovered. That it all depends on that. There is the possibility that ultimately John O'Keefe will not get justice, and that's going to be a very sad thing if that does take place. But each time that the defense brings up new, as we like to call bombshells, every time the defense drops these bombshells in court, I get more and more faith, like a brand new renewal of my faith that John O'Keefe will get justice. It just renews itself every time. So I hope so, Grandmaster Sid Sophos, and it's looking better and better. So I hope that answers your question as best as it could be answered.
Anticipated trial of Karen Reid begins.
You ready to start, Jim?
It's important for us to be here, for me to be here anyways, because Karen Reid could be any one of us.
Pink lined the sidewalk leading up to the Norfolk County Superior Court today in a show of support for Karen Reid.
Karen Reid picked the color.
Others assembled further down the block after a ruling from Judge Beverly Cannoni prohibited demonstrations within 200 feet of the courthouse.
I go like this. I'm under arrest.
Their presence, along with signs like this one along Route 1 in Foxborough, showing just how difficult it could be to find an unbiased jury.
Look at Scott.
Judge Cannoni with this message for protesters.
People outside of this building have rights, and we know that they have voices. But this criminal trial will be decided by an independent jury.
Oh my God.
I think we got a super
And once that trial starts, it could...
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Suzanne, thank you so much. Yes, Karen can sue all government entities under Section 1983 federal. Happy to discuss another time earlier in the day. Appreciate that, Suzanne. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's just crazy.
It could last as long as 6 to 8 weeks, and supporters I spoke with today say that they are willing to wait outside for each day of that trial for as long as it takes. In Dedham, Jericho Tran, NBC 10 Boston.
Jericho Tran rounding out our team coverage, NBC 10 Boston and
trying to see what else we can go over here. Oh, this is that lady from I've never checked her out before. Let's check her out for a minute. This is that lady. I guess she's big on TikTok, but she only has 214 subs on YouTube. But apparently she has a lot on TikTok. She's called Note My Objection. Okay, let's check her out real quick. See what she has to say.
Believe it, we made it. It's trial day one of the Karen Reid case. Now, I know many people thought we were never going to come to this day. But as I suggested many months ago, this is a case that always was going to need to go to trial. The theories are so far and separate apart. The Commonwealth and the defense in this case have very different positions that really can only be resolved with a criminal trial. Now, if you're unfamiliar with me, my name's Catherine. I'm a local attorney here in Boston who talks on my page, my objection about the law, politics, and I try to do so while encouraging people to listen to different perspectives, engage in real discourse, critical thinking, use our heads. Don't just jump from one side to the other. Let's analyze fairly and make a decision based on all the evidence we have in front of us. I do that with both this case. I do that when I.
Now, she sounds like Plevin. Let's see if she actually does it. But she's an attorney, so I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. She seems
about politics. I do that when I talk about life. And so
now, obviously, I sped her up.
What I ask of everybody is to be respectful if you're engaging in the comments or anything like that. This is a very high profile, very emotional case that has riled a lot of energy publicly, but I know that everybody can do their very best. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is jury selection. Now, you probably are trying to watch live on the stream, but the reason you can't is because we need to be able to protect jurors' identities. So this is always a part when even if you have a small assault and battery trial that's going to last 2 days in Dorchester District Court or anywhere else, the jury and panel department is sort of a sacred private process, right? And it's not open to the general public because we want to always ensure 2 things. 1, that the defendant gets a fair and impartial trial with a jury of her peers. And 2, that the jurors are not subject to outside influence. And in a case like this, in which we have a lot of contact with witnesses, we have a lot of emotions, we have a lot of feelings, we have very vocal, vociferous voices on both sides. We want to make sure that that doesn't roll over to the jury. So what I'm going to try to do throughout this is some of it's going to be a little bit like a law school class. So I'm going to read and explain to you certain legal documents,
I think she sounds great.
What words mean, why we ask
so far.
What the results thereof would be, because I think ultimately people have real opinions and they're entitled to those opinions. But I also think that there is a vast majority of people who don't have a basic understanding of the law, and that's not meant to be in a demeaning or disrespectful way. But the law is a very complicated thing. It is. It's not easy. It's very the minutiae.
On Court TV. Let's see. Watch live. No, that's Chad Daybell stuff. Is it like Vinnie Politan's YouTube channel? Because he has a YouTube channel. And I don't see that he's live. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. So hold on a second, guys. Here we go. Oh, okay, cool. All right, sweet. Thanks, Microdots. All right.
I'm Vinnie Politan. Great to have you with us here for closing arguments. What a big day here at Court TV. We've got this huge case involving the so-called Doomsday Prophet.
Appreciate you,
taking
Microdots.
place in Idaho on one side of the country, and then in the Northeast, up in Dedham, Massachusetts, Norfolk County, another huge trial, a case unlike any that we've seen here on Court TV. Karen Reed, accused of murdering her police officer boyfriend. She says she's being framed and set up by the police, by the investigators who found the evidence against her. So today, day 1 of jury selection, and you had supporters of Karen Reed showing up. There are some rules, though. They can't go wherever they want. They can't wear whatever they want. There are absolutely some limitations on what they can do. And there you see Matt Johnson was ready to go this morning outside the courthouse. Now, let's take a look as Karen Reed was arriving at court this morning. You can see she's getting ready to walk across the street. You don't want to get struck by a car, so her attorney, Alan Jackson, makes sure she crosses properly. But you can see some of the folks flanking her, members of the media, high-profile case here. Now, Karen Reed, again, was inside the courtroom today for day 1 of jury selection. That could be one of the most important aspects of this case, like it is in many cases, but this is a case that has divided the community. It is on everyone's mind. How many people have opinions? How many people are suspicious of police? How many people...
Okay, but is the community really divided, though? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not seeing a whole lot of division. I'm seeing a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying that everyone thinks Karen Reed is innocent. You know, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, though, like, is there really like a divided town where it's like, you know? So far, I'm seeing people honking their horns in support. I'm seeing everybody just be doing their thing and everybody being okay with those doing their thing. So far, that's what I'm seeing anyway with my eyes, you know? I let's see, what's Turtleboy saying? When I stand in front of D&E Pizza, all I get is happy honks. Canton is not divided at all. Right. Okay, then I'm not crazy. That's my point. What are they talking about? I trip out when I see this shit and I hear these things, you know. Especially, you know, the angry mob. It's not an angry mob. Nobody's angry. I'm not seeing anybody angry. It's so bizarre.
Are suspicious of a woman accused of murdering a police officer. These are things you've got to flush out during jury selection. Matt Johnson, as you saw, he is there and has the latest for us tonight.
Hey, Vinny. Day one of jury selection here in Dedham ends with 4 of the 16 jurors needed.
Is he asking for a link? I'll bring him up. If Turtleboy's always welcome here. Absolutely. If he wants to come up, he's absolutely welcome to come up. And great job on Banfield. I'd actually love to hear your thoughts on that, but I mean, probably not, because like I was very vocal about my opinions on NewsNation, so maybe not, but but I thought you did great. Yeah, no, I noticed you were a horse. I noticed you were a horse on Banfield. But yeah, man, great job on that today. And is this so? Nick Rocco is on Court TV here. Is that what's going on here?
To hear the case. How are we feeling today, Karen? Good, Matt. Good. Karen Reed telling Court TV she is ready to stand trial. Today was day one of jury selection in her high-profile murder case. Reed is accused of running over her Boston police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe, and leaving him to die in the snow back in 2022. The defense claims that she's being framed in a police cover-up. On Tuesday, the judge handed down a major decision that the defense can't blame other people in their opening statements.
Based on the offer of proof on Friday, I am well within my rights.
Now, I don't know, but I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to make a prediction that like they're just going to be like, the prosecution is going to tell you that they have physical evidence. They're going to say that there's DNA. They're going to say that there's microscopic pieces of taillight. But what they're going to do is fail to show how they obtained this evidence. They're going to fail to be able to explain that they collected this evidence in a sound, in a manner in which is the usual standard practice for collecting evidence and handling evidence, which is I would think all they need to do. All they need to do. They don't have to go in there pointing fingers at Brian Higgins or the Alberts or Jen McCabe for making searches. They don't have to do that in their opening statements. They could simply say, we're going to put prosecution in a position to be able to prove that they handled this evidence the way that they were supposed to handle it, and they're not going to be able to. We're going to corner them and have to, we're going to put them in a position where they're going to have to answer for how they handled this evidence. And that is where their case is going to fall apart right in front of you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. It's in theory totally how I would handle that. If I was writing a fictional story about this, that's exactly what I would write.
pursuant to the case law to exclude the third party culprit defense. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to give you a chance to develop it through relevant, competent, admissible evidence, but you cannot open on it.
During jury selection, almost all potential jurors raised their numbers when asked if they knew about the case. Several people also raised their numbers, saying that they know some of the key players on the witness list. Outside the courthouse, dozens of supporters were kept in a buffer zone away from the entrance for the first time.
Wow.
After the court ruled that officers who are observers cannot wear police uniforms in the gallery, and Reed supporters cannot wear buttons, shirts, or hold signs within 200 feet of the entrance.
She has to be exonerated. This is insane that this woman
It
is being
is.
brought to trial.
It is.
The evidence is insane for her innocence. She didn't do this.
So what are
Right.
you looking forward to the most? Hearing opening statements or some of the evidence? What are you looking for?
Cross-examination.
Cross-examination.
There you
of some
go.
unsavories on the stand.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to?
I'm also looking forward to the defense cross-examining some of the people who we believe were the actual murderers of John O'Keefe and the people responsible for covering up. I think Karen has a great team, and part of the reason I'm out here today, I don't think that she's had a fair shake. I know it's not a trial yet, but the hearings and evidence, so I'm excited to see her have her day.
And jury selection expected to last upwards of 2 weeks. Testimony could be 6 weeks. Vinny?
Matt Johnson at the courthouse. Now, let's talk about some of the evidence, because one of the things that was revealed today was a witness list and some of the proposed exhibits of evidence that this jury will see, that you will see here on Court TV. And let's begin with the one piece of evidence that probably started this whole support of Karen Reed, and it's a copy of the Cellbrite extraction report of the cell phone of Jennifer McCabe. This is incredibly significant. This is the search, and this is what the question is: how long to die in the cold was a search that was done by Jennifer McCabe's, or at least done on her phone. The question is, and it was misspelled, how becomes HOS. Was it done at 2:30 in the morning, or was it done at 6:30 in the morning? Big difference between those two times. And this is going to be a battle of the experts in trying to understand, from extracting this information from the cell phone, when this search was done. Because
I mean, he's right. It's not going to be a battle of the experts to convince any of us. It's going to be a battle of the experts to convince a jury. That's just a reality we're just going to have to face. Period. So, Vinny's 150% correct on that. Once this is going to be a battle between the experts and it's going to be for the jury and for the jury alone. And what we think about it means nothing.
Because if the search is done at 2:30 in the morning, then it's game over for the prosecution. If someone is searching how long to die in the cold at 2:30 in the morning, it's over. Done. If it's 6:30 in the morning, then it is consistent with the prosecution's case. So let's take a listen to a preview of some of the arguments that this jury may hear.
The Commonwealth suppressed one of the most obvious pieces of exculpatory evidence in the entire case, and that was a piece of evidence that they know torpedoes their entire case and their theory of this case, and that's Jennifer McCabe's Google search at 2:27 a.m., how long to die in cold. Now, a Quantico-trained special agent with the FBI's Regional Computer Forensic Lab, in other words, the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, also specifically confirms that that search was made on Jennifer McCabe's phone, and it was made on or before 2:27 and 40 seconds a.m. on January 29th, 2022.
There's a separate, and I forget exactly what it stands for, but an RCFL analysis of the phone in which through both Axiom and through Celebrite, and that conclusion of that expert is that the searches occurred when Ms. McCabe testified they occurred because the defendant asked her to conduct those searches at 6:23 and 6:24 in the morning. Really, the argument stops at the point of it's not, we didn't do our job to get the Cellbrite version that shows that information did not exist at the time of the grand jury. So I'm not really sure how the Commonwealth is supposed to run something through a Cellbrite version that isn't in existence at the time the grand jury is conducted.
Crucial battle of the experts in that case. Now, let's move on to more of the evidence. The taillight pieces recovered from the scene. Remember, the theory of the prosecution is that Karen Reed ran him over with the back of her car. So this becomes crucial, the actual taillight pieces, some of which were purportedly found on the victim.
I mean, the funny thing is Karen Reed says it in a nutshell when, like, in the very clip that Lally tries to use to incriminate her. Like, she says, yeah, my tail light is cracked and my boyfriend is pulverized. Yeah, we're all in on the joke, right? My tail light is cracked and my boyfriend is fucking pulverized. Like, there was a reason why she used the word pulverized. And it's because of the injuries that John O'Keefe sustained. There is no planet, there's no realm, there's no reality where John O'Keefe would sustain injuries like that, and there would be absolutely not even so much as a scratch on any other part of the car, and yet this taillight is cracked, and yet the circumstances in which the taillight pieces are found are beyond questionable. Makes no sense, you know. So, you know, we're sitting here and people who are looking at this taillight situation and they're just blinded by the idea that the prosecution is doing their job because they're supposed to be on the up and up and performing their job to the best of their moral and ethical abilities to in pursuit of justice. But that's not what they're doing. But we're assuming that that's what they would do. So for some reason, what happens is we listen to things like this taillight and don't immediately think that they're ridiculous. We think, well, there's got to be some reason, because they wouldn't there's no way they would bring that to a court of law. That's insane. You know, unless there was, and here what we all did was just go over on a constant basis every fact on this case to see if this taillight shit made any sense. And it doesn't. And the taillight is fucking bullshit. Especially when you put it, when you think of it in the terms that Karen Reed worded it to that officer via that body cam footage while she's sitting there getting booked for the second time. She says, yeah, we're all in on the joke, right? My taillight's cracked and my boyfriend is pulverized. I mean, and Berkowitz just happened to be driving by and magically found this taillight, this piece of the taillight, and so on and so forth. And this is all just supposed to be okay. You know, this is all just supposed to, like, the prosecution is going to expect the jury to accept this. And there are people who are looking at this like as if once the jury hears this that they're going to go, okay. No, they're going to react to it the same way that anybody else with common sense is going to react to it, like any one of us. Why wouldn't they? What's baffling is the fact that this is even getting to a point to where a jury's going to even hear it. That's what's baffling, is that we're actually to a point to where a jury's actually going to have to hear this. That we're going to have to hear a jury. We're going to have to see a jury sit there and go, you know, I mean, we're not going to see it because we don't know who the jury's, you know, we're not going to see the jury, but we're going to picture this in our minds when we hear the gallery mutter and the rest of us are watching it and we go, what? There you go. Boom. I mean, this is the craziest shit.
Himself. You remember last week we were talking about this in her body cam when she was arrested for murder, rearrested for murder. She said my taillight was cracked. John was pulverized. He was beaten up. My taillight was already cracked. Well, how could the taillight been cracked? Well, they go back to this video. The defense is going to point to this video of her backing out when she's now looking for John O'Keefe. That she's
the point is, the notion is absurd. The notion is just simply absurd that John O'Keefe would sustain injuries like he did, and there would be a cracked taillight. That's it. It's absurd.
Smashes into this car. You look on the rearview mirror. How cracked is the tail light?
Like, let's just keep it simple.
You know, that's something the jury's going to have to figure out based upon this video and arguments. Another important part of the tail light is that a former police chief, Kenneth Berkowitz, found a piece like a week later. He's driving by the scene a week later and finds a piece of the taillight. So the defense says that's very peculiar because they're going to allege that this evidence was planted by police. Planted. And he found a piece a week later? Why would he find it a week later? Well, prosecution's going to say, well, that's when all the snow melted after the big storm. Now, there's also...
Why was he in communications with Higgins and Brian Albert in the early morning hours of the 29th? Why?
So the witness list is crucial here as well, and probably one of the most important witnesses for both sides, I think, in the way his testimony will go, will be Trooper Michael Proctor from the Massachusetts State Police. This is one of the lead investigators. But was he close to the family in the house that the defense is going to say is responsible for the death of John O'Keefe? Here's what Alan Jackson's going to try to prove.
Trooper Michael Proctor. The Commonwealth withheld from the grand jury clear and even more egregious conflicts of interest as they pertain to Michael Proctor. Sergeant Lenk was aware of this irremediable conflict that Canton Police Department had and that he should have had with the Alberts. So what does he do? He calls in Massachusetts State Police. And who do they send but Michael Proctor? And that's like jumping from the frying pan into the fire. That's the same Michael Proctor who's also years-long close family friends with the Alberts. The Proctors have called the Alberts their, quote, second family.
Also taking a look at the defense witness list, significant witness here, Brian Higgins. Who is Brian Higgins, right? Close friend of Brian Albert, one of the people in the house.
Brian Higgins.
Attended the bar and the party that night where the defense says John O'Keefe was killed. Had an alleged romantic entanglement with Karen Reed. Does that give him motive to get into a fight with John O'Keefe? Maybe they'll argue that. I don't know. An agent with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and had an office in the Canton Police Department. Testified he found out about John O'Keefe's death in a phone call from Brian Albert and convened at the Alberts home with the McCabe's hours after O'Keefe's body was discovered to discuss the investigation. These are the allegations. This is where they're going. This is
the most work Court TV has ever done on this fucking case.
Going to be fought, this whole case. Also on the defense list, this is extremely unusual, like this case, the Norfolk County District Attorney, Michael Morrissey. Remember, he had that statement that he released, this video statement, caused a little bit of controversy among some folks where he was telling, listen, leave the witnesses alone, everyone.
Caused a little controversy.
Leave the witnesses alone. They're all presumed innocent. And in the end, one of the folks who was confronting the witnesses was charged with witness tampering. Turtleboy had him on the show. Let's take a listen now to the significance of the DA and what role he may play in the trial of Karen Reed.
This will be the first statement of its kind in my dozen years as Norfolk District Attorney.
Needs to stop.
The harassment of witnesses in the murder prosecution of Karen Reed is absolutely baseless. The idea that multiple police department, EMTs, fire personnel, the medical examiner, and prosecuting agencies are joined in or taken in by a vast conspiracy should be seen for what it is, completely contrary to the evidence and a desperate attempt to reassign guilt. What is happening to the witnesses,
reassign guilt.
some with no actual involvement in the case, is wrong.
He has a personal interest in getting Karen Reed convicted.
Yeah.
If he can use whatever means he has at his disposal to convict her, and he succeeds, that would vindicate him and harm the federal investigation of his office.
Boom.
On the other hand, if she's found not guilty, as we expect she will be, he knows that he and his office will remain in the crosshairs of the federal investigation.
So what you have going on here is you really have two things going on at once. You've got the trial of Karen Reed and what the defense is going to attempt to do, even though they can't mention it in their opening statement, but through cross-examination and perhaps through their own case, try to prove that, no, it wasn't Karen Reed. This is what really happened.
And
that makes this case unusual.
To do that.
What also makes this case very different are all the people who've been showing up for every hearing outside of that courthouse with the signs and the shirts and the chants and the cheers. The folks who have been supporting Karen Reed. So who are they? Well, let's bring one of them in. Joining us from Wilmington, Massachusetts, Karen Reed supporter and the man who helped raise the money for that Karen Reed billboard truck, Nick Rocco, back with us. Nick, great to see you. Were you there today?
Of course I was there today, Vinny. How you doing?
I'm doing well. What about this buffer zone? 200 feet away. How are the protesters going to handle this? And how are the protesters going to dress to show up at the courthouse?
So to be honest, you can see on both sides of the courthouse where the cones are, where the protesters have to stand. Now, anybody who walks across the street or even on that street is able to see them from the courthouse. So I'm not really still understanding. I guess they want to keep us back, but no matter who comes to that courthouse, you can still see supporters there. And the people you see standing on the sidewalk, those are some of us waiting to get into the courtroom. And unfortunately today, people were not able to get in until after lunch because there were so many jurors still in there waiting.
So what is the plan for the supporters of Karen Reed? Is it an organized effort at this point, or is it just everyone on their own is choosing to show up? How does this work?
Look at that angry mob.
Well, I mean, a lot of us that are here at these protests are in the Facebook group, and everybody's coordinating different things. Today was the first day. We weren't sure if we were able to park behind the Registry of Deeds, or if we had to park where the Dedham police, set aside where there could be a peaceful protest, which was about 1,000 feet away from the courthouse, 800 feet more than the actual buffer zone. So you had people lined up right at those.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are saying that Morrissey is going to be on the stand. That's not necessarily true. He's on the witness list. That means that he could be called to the stand, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he will be. But he is on the witness list. Which I find that very interesting. I would love to see the district attorney of Norfolk County sitting on the stand and then put in a position to be cross-examined by Jackson or Yannetti. That would make my day. That would absolutely make my day.
Those cones, and the ones who didn't have any gear on were able to walk in front of the courthouse, basically back and forth without lingering out front.
Okay, so if you don't wear the Karen Reed things to support her, you can walk around the courthouse, and ultimately, if you get in line and there's space, you'll be in the courtroom. Is that the plan?
Pretty much, yeah. I think today was a learning lesson for everybody how it's going to go. But don't forget, we also do have an appeal and a petition in the full spectrum Supreme Court to potentially overrule this buffer still. So, the protesters are not out of this fight yet.
All right, let me ask you this now. The protesters, obviously supporting Karen Reed, believe that she has been wrongfully accused and believe that the people in the house are the ones responsible for what happened to Officer John O'Keefe. But my understanding is that the family of John O'Keefe believe that Karen Reed is responsible. How do you feel as someone who is supporting an accused killer when the victim's family believes the correct person is on trial?
Well, you know, I don't know Karen personally. I don't know the relationship between Karen and John's mother. To be honest, whether they were friendly or not, it's John's mother's right to, you know, believe in what she wants. But from what I looked at today on the defense witness list is John's father, and he's not on the Commonwealth's witness list. So I found that very interesting as well.
And are you going to go every day? This is going to be a pretty long trial. Are your plans and the plans of the other supporters to be there day in and day out?
Hell yeah.
Justice, the wheels of justice sometimes turn a little slowly, especially in a big case like this that's being so hotly contested.
The last time I told you when I was on here, I still truly believe you will have people outside of that courthouse every single day for jury selection and then for the whole trial. It was a beautiful day outside today. So yeah,
there we go.
The nicer it is, the more people are going to be there. I myself, I'm going to try to be there as much as possible. I can't be there every day, unfortunately, but I will be there as much as I can.
All right, Nick Rocco, thanks for giving us a little bit of insight into the folks who've been showing up and making this trial much different than many other trials we cover here on Court TV. Appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Come back. The think tank is ready. Michael Sterling is absolutely ready.
Tank.
Can Karen Reed
I'm ready for it.
raise a reasonable doubt?
I'm ready for the think
We'll talk
tank.
about it next.
Woo! I'm stoked.
We are underway in the trial of Doomsday Prophet Chad Daybell.
Prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty against him.
Investigators have recovered human remains at Chad Daybell's residence.
I can never go over this. His wife, Lori Vallow Daybell, has already been convicted.
Now, will her husband end up with the same fate?
It's just so hard to know where the truth ends.
It's the Doomsday Prophet, Chad Daybell, on trial.
And you were indicted by grand jury.
Okay, you're aware he was beaten up by Brian Colin Albert. I mean, we're all in on the same joke, right? My tail light is cracked and John is pulverized.
Karen Reed is on the other side of that computer screen. That's after she had been arrested for the upgraded charge of murder for the death of her boyfriend, John O'Keefe. And there she is, pointing the finger directly at the Alberts. Now, what's interesting here is that they're not going to be able.
I'm convinced, folks. I'm convinced that the reason why Karen Reed named Brian and Colin Albert was based on the tip that her defense team got. That's what I think. I think that was still pretty fresh in her mind. So, maybe possibly the discussion of Higgins just hadn't even come up yet. But I would just say that, Occam's razor on this one, the simplest answer is usually the correct one. And the simplest answer to me is that she, that her defense team was still, the wheels were in motion based on that tip that they got. Nick Rocco, great job, buddy. One more round of applause for Nick Rocco. Man, you guys are fantastic. You and Turtleboy, man. And Dana and Paul, Tracy and Tom, just Scott, all you guys are just fucking fantastic. Rita, everybody. Everybody. You guys are amazing. Like I truly, all of you guys are so inspiring to me.
Be able to argue about that, or not argue, but make any statements in their openings, the defense, about this third-party culpability. That's been prohibited by the judge. They're going to have to get some evidence on the record before the judge will allow them to make any arguments or any reference to someone else committing this crime. Now, something else that the Commonwealth is trying to get prohibited from being brought in front of this jury. Take a look, two things. An internal affairs investigation, which was initiated against that lead investigator, Trooper Proctor, in connection with this case. And two, evidence establishing that Sergeant Lank has used his position as a law enforcement officer in the past to protect the Albert family. Let's take a listen now to Alan Jackson, the attorney for Karen Reed, outlining the proof of this relationship between Trooper Proctor and the family.
Newly uncovered text messages, but from the feds, revealed that on January 19th, 2022, think about that date, that's 10 days before the incident. January 19th, 2022, Michael Proctor texted his own family members discussing the specifics of having Julie Albert babysit for his toddler child.
Yeah.
On February 1st, 2022,
Yeah.
3 days after John O'Keefe was killed, there was another text message. In this one, Michael Proctor's sister texts Michael Proctor very specifically and writes the following, quote, "Just saw Julie, and Julie said when all this is over, she wants to give you, Michael Proctor, a thank you gift." Michael Proctor didn't respond with, "That's inappropriate. These are witnesses. These are potential suspects. Please tell her don't ever do that again. Don't ever suggest an exchange of gifts again. That would be inappropriate. I'm going to go write a report. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Lally, and Mr. Lally's going to turn that information over to the defense and to the court." No, that's what he should have done. What he did do is he responded, "Get Elizabeth one," his wife. In other words, get the gift from my wife. It'll be a little less obvious. So now we have the lead investigator from Mass.
And in other words, it takes more pressure off me to where I have to get her something.
Massachusetts State Police literally discussing the exchange of gifts between the Albert family on the one hand and the Proctor family on the other hand as a thank you, their words, for helping the Alberts out of a jam. Under additional intense questioning by the Assistant United States Attorney, Proctor was caught in his own web of deceit and testified as follows, quote, this is the AUSA talking, or asking the question. "So obviously we're asking questions about your relationship with Julie Albert, with Chris Albert, and with Colin Albert. Do you understand that?" Answer, "Yes, sir." Question, "And you're saying that you're minimizing, quote, minimizing your relationship to the grand jury, correct?" Answer, "Yes." He finally, under the scrutiny of a federal grand jury, admitted that he had been lying about his relationship to the Alberts, which means he lied to the grand jury, which means the evidence was distorted in front of the grand jury.
There you go.
Then there is Sergeant Lank. That was Trooper Proctor, Sergeant Lank. And one thing the defense is looking at in their papers, and they'll attempt to bring it up here, I would think, 2002, Chris Albert, a witness in the case, one of the Alberts, and his brother Tim Albert walked out of a bar, got into an argument, and proceeded to physically attack and beat him. Officer Lank was an off-duty Canton police officer, had been drinking with Chris and Kevin that night, and he ends up kind of taking care of the situation for the Alberts, and the guys on the other side, including his brother, end up getting charged in that case. But that
he's really like undertelling that story. Like, he's really undertelling that story. He's really failing to mention the fact that Lank assaulted one of them, had the other one put in handcuffs, and then spit on the one in handcuffs that was sitting in a squad car after he assaulted his brother and beat the shit out of him while he was on the floor, while he was on the ground. Vinny, come on, buddy. Like, it's kind of an important detail.
But that goes back to 2002. They want to bring all that up. Let's bring in our think tank tonight.
Yeah.
Joining us in Seattle, Washington, trial attorney, fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers, Ann Bremner. In Los Angeles, California, deputy public defender for LA County, Philip Dubé. And in the ATL, Atlanta, Georgia, criminal defense attorney, former federal prosecutor, Michael Sterling. All right. Ann, what are your thoughts? Like the opening statement, you're not going to hear anything. What we've been talking about for like over a year, you're not going to hear it. What are your thoughts about that?
I say hooray
I mean,
for the judge.
I always give these guys the benefit of the doubt. It was like the whole thing, like the thing with Ashley Banfield talking to Turtleboy today, man. It was just like, the part where I just have history, where I just historically don't really care for Ashley Banfield much. There's that, but also just there's the time management. You got to keep that into consideration when giving these people the benefit of the doubt. The way to do that is to just keep in mind that there's a time management issue. I just feel like for Turtleboy to effectively tell his side of things, you got to give him more than a minute. You know what I mean? To effectively tell his view on things, you've got to give him more time. There's no way to just do that in such a quick period of time. And so there's a lot of information here, and Vinny has to, again, manage time.
I mean, obviously the lawyers have convinced all these people outside, but not the judge. I mean, there's got to be some link between, there's some train of evidence. It's a Saudi defense member, some other dude did it. But you can't just say someone else did it and there's these conspiracies and all these people know each other or anything else. What's the evidence? And the judges said there isn't any evidence. If there is competent, cogent evidence, I'll consider admissibility. But right now, it can't even be part of the opening statement. That's huge. And huge against the defense.
Yeah, because that changes the filter for the jury, the way they hear all the other evidence. Philip Dubé.
But it's going to be easy to present it. Or maybe I watch too many movies. And I'm willing to absolutely consider that to be a factor in why I feel this way. But I just feel like it's going to be very easy for this defense team to... Because... the prosecution's going to object. I get that. Like every time they're going to steer it in that direction, the prosecution's going to object. But I don't feel like it's going to be difficult to do that. I mean, they're going to call, the defense has people they're going to call to the stand. It's not going to be difficult for them to make sure that the jury sees that there's something really, really rotten in Denmark.
Do you think that the evidence of this internal affairs investigation should be in front of this jury?
Let it, frankly, but I don't think it should. What's it going to prove? What? That he, didn't disclose that he had a relationship with someone, that he knew parties in the house. Listen, Vinny, having worked in the justice system your whole career before journalism, you've got to know that cops, public defenders, private lawyers, DAs, sheriff deputies, they're all in bed together. That's what goes on. They're all getting married. They're all having
I don't know what's going on in LA, but that is like...
Oh, come on. Oh, it's a fact. Come on.
What?
Listen, it's not uncommon for deputies to date public defenders, but I don't think it should.
Evidence of this internal affairs investigation should be in front of this jury.
Again. What?
Let it, frankly, but I don't think it should. What's it going to prove? What? That...
So wait, so what we're about to hear is this dude's justification for Proctor having this relationship with witnesses in the case. This is classic. I'm really glad we're watching this right now.
That he, didn't disclose that he had a relationship with someone, that he knew parties in the house. Listen, Vinny, having worked in the justice system your whole career before journalism, you've got to know that cops, public defenders, private lawyers, DAs, sheriff deputies, they're all in bed together. That's what goes on. They're all getting married. They're all having...
I don't know what's going on.
Bro. So I guess this guy works in a justice system in LA where it's just a big fucking orgy. Huh? I guess that's what it is. It's wow. I mean, it's a big swinger party in the legal system in LA, I guess. Okay, but okay, bud. Whatever you say.
What's going on in LA? But that is like,
oh, come on. Oh, it's a fact. Come on.
It's
Listen,
a
it's not
fact.
uncommon for deputies to date public defenders, for DAs to even date public defenders, for cops to date, people, other people in law enforcement.
But that's not even what the question is, dude. Like, it's not even the topic at hand. The topic at hand is the fact that these people are witnesses in a murder case where the victim is a Boston police officer, and it happened on the property of another Boston police officer. This is a complicated situation. This isn't about just blowing off the idea that a bunch of people are just fucking putting each other in each other's mouths on their free time. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? Like, what do you think this is? Like, all of a sudden, hey, it's all good. Listen, Vinny, stop it, Vinny. You know that this whole thing is a big key party. Like, what do you mean, dude? What are you talking about? That's totally inappropriate for the lead investigator to have a personal relationship with the witnesses, especially if they are people who could very well be and most likely are responsible for this death. There is reason to believe they have motive. The lead investigator having a personal relationship with these people is 150% inappropriate, unethical for him to be the lead investigator in this case. And this guy thinks that, okay. This guy thinks that this is just, it's all good. It's a Bang Brothers video. Awesome.
And to try to distill from that there is this huge conspiracy going on. At most, what it does is it provides a motive and maybe a reason to want to set her up. But unless you have something more concrete to link whoever it is they're pointing the finger at for having these inappropriate relationships, that they were at fault for the homicide, the judge is going to shut it down. They have a rule 1105 in their evidence code that says, look, motive, opportunity is not enough. If you want a jury instruction, you better give this jury something more concrete to link it. Otherwise, we're shutting it down.
I don't know how the public defender's going to.
I mean, that dude is a total fucking clown. Dude is a total fucking clown.
Work done out there. All these dates they're going on, Philip, that you're mentioning.
Not that bad.
Okay.
Just telling you.
Michael Sterling. I've been looking at your face throughout this whole thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. My man right here, dude. West Palm Beach. I love it.
Well, let me disagree with my friend Ian. I think it's wholly inappropriate for the judge to limit the.
Yeah, like what? Well, I'm going to go ahead and disagree with my homie here.
Opening statement. The jury is the one who holds the lawyers responsible for what they say in the opening statement. So lawyers get to say what you believe the evidence is going to show. If judges are going to start calling strikes and foul balls in the opening before the opening statement, that's wholly inappropriate because the judge doesn't know what the defense is going to present. Their witness list. You have no idea if the defendant's going to testify. You don't know what's going to come out. So to limit what the defense can say they believe the evidence is going to show is basically saying, go fight with one hand tied behind your back.
There you go.
I think that's wholly inappropriate for the judge to do. The jury will hold them responsible. If you make a promise in the opening statement and you don't deliver in the evidence, the jury holds you responsible for that. So for the judge to say you can't even mention this possibility, you can't even mention the fact that you believe the evidence is going to show this, because all you need is some evidence. If the defendant takes a stand, which the judge doesn't know is going to happen, and she presents some evidence and they can argue that, well, the judge has already disallowed you to say it in the opening statement, and the judge has no idea what's coming into evidence. I think that's wholly inappropriate, Benny. I completely disagree with the fact that a judge can say, even though this is your theory of the case, or at least I believe this is going to be your theory of the case, because you really don't know, and defense lawyers change it in the blink of an eye all the time. I know I do. You can't limit what they can say they believe the evidence is going to show, because the judge doesn't know what the witnesses are going to say, doesn't know if the defendant's going to testify, and she's essentially said, hey, go fight with one hand tied behind your back.
There you go.
How about go ahead, Philip. Go ahead. I'll let you respond.
I was just going to say, Vinny, back me on this. Don't you agree that oftentimes the outcome of a case rises and falls on your opening statement? A lot of times juries latch on to what it is you tell them that the evidence is going to show, and that's the roadmap throughout, and they accept it as gospel evidence, and they render a verdict, when in truth, there was nothing linking this homicide to these third-party culprits. And then, to be fair to the Commonwealth, they have a right to a fair trial, too.
You're a little cunt.
Look at that.
Well, the jury will hold them accountable, right? When I teach trial simulation, when I teach trial advocacy, I tell my students, you don't say something in the opening statement that you can't prove with evidence, because the jury will hold you to account and you'll lose credibility. So if you say it, and the jury will be the one that says, hey, you said this in your opening statement and you didn't prove it in evidence, I'm holding you accountable for that. I don't think the judge should limit it to the extent that the judge has no idea what evidence is going to come forward.
Exactly.
You should be able to say, I believe the evidence is going to show this. And if you don't, the jury will be the one
jury will hold you
accountable
accountable for it.
This is just our show, right? Couldn't you imagine what it's going to be like in that courtroom? Like the back and forth. This one is personal. This one is personal. It's got a different vibe. This is not going to be nicey nice inside the courtroom. This is going to be a battle.
All right, I guess that's it. Yeah. I agree. This is going to be wild. And again, folks, man, thanks for hanging out with me as much as you guys did today. I'm going to actually try to get some sleep so I can get with you guys again bright and early tomorrow. And we'll go over as much as we can. Hopefully they'll be streaming from inside the courtroom. If they're not, I'm hearing mixed things about that. I don't know what's going on with that, but either way, what I'm going to do is I'm still going to stream and give updates as I get them. But yeah, I'm going to hang out with you guys as much as we possibly can. And this is going to be between this and the gym and sleep is going to be my life for the next 7 weeks. So I hope you guys join me for that. At least for this part of it. The gym, that's my own thing. But yeah, if you guys want to go to the gym for me, knock yourselves out. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, make sure to hit the like on your way out. It's free. I appreciate you. That makes that really helps out the channel. And if you're not subscribed already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you click on the bell to get the notifications for when I go live. And I'm going to be going live a lot. So I really appreciate you guys joining me and hanging out. I appreciate all the support. And I love you guys very, very, very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.